I start to do that thing that I do. You know
Lick
how
your lips?
No, dry heave.
Oh,
Dry
I
You know,
didn't even know you did that.
like when I get really nervous, I start to cough like I'm going to throw up.
Oh.
Gee, I didn't even know about that disgusting.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah.
I thought you meant licking your lips and teeth.
No. I start to get the dry heaves.
Wow.
So I'm doing it on the side, and the guy that's with me from the Mets is looking at me like I'm out of mind. Right. When I get it, so I've been given so much advice from so many different people. Some people say, just go out and throw it, don't
what
pitch.
kind of advice are they
No,
giving
some people
you?
say just go out and throw it and don't pitch, and some people say go and pitch. And what that was a bad combination of me saying I'll pitch and at the last minute go, no, I'll just throw it. You know what I mean?
It was a bad combination of gay guy.
Right. Listen, I can't.
Did Artie bust your balls there, or you saved it for now?
They saved it for now.
Yeah, right. That was smart.
I'm an 8-year veteran on the show now. I know what to do.
Why waste your time there? No one can hear it.
I asked Smigel to call me with any joke he had.
What did Smigel say once it went down?
He was just laughing. I mean, he said,
God.
he's actually, Smigel said, he goes, listen, I love Gary, but what does he wear? He's Baba Booey either way.
How bad, so once you release the ball, you know, and you see the umpire trying to, chase it down, what are you thinking at this point?
I'm thinking that this is what I was afraid of. This was it. This
Right.
was all of it put together, the worst of the worst. I mean, you start thinking of all the things you don't want to do. You don't want to throw it over the head. You don't want to bounce it.
I mean, for my father to call me.
No, your father was the least who called me.
Oh, my God. Who called you?
Well, it's always funny who wants to be the first to give you bad news.
Yeah, I was pretty much the first one on your face.
I got a lot of texts. Like,
The first person to give you bad news is your arm.
Right. A lot of people were texting me.
Yeah.
I got about a dozen texts from Booker. It started with, "Hey, heard it didn't go well. Hey, that's okay. I did it once," and then around the 8th or 9th one, it's about 6:30 at night. I'm drinking, and it just goes, "Dude, you're on the news." That's what the text says.
Yeah. Wait, who sent you that?
Booker.
Oh, Booker.
Hey, at least you made the news, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, if you had thrown out a perfect pitch, it would have been over.
You're
All
way
right, here
more
you go.
famous than you were the other day.
This is a bit of a montage of. This is just different newscasts picking up the story.
Wow.
Which is unbelievable.
news.
Yeah, because Gary was like, this thing won't be seen. It's not going to come around.
Yeah,
blah,
I was
blah,
going
blah.
to say, you didn't think it was going to be this big.
No, I didn't think it was going to be this bad. Once I saw how bad it was, I thought. I thought it. Listen, here's what happened.
This is Star Wars big.
Here's what happened. So here's what happened. So it's a bad pitch. We all know it's a bad pitch. I'm bummed out, but still, in my mind, it's within the Howard Stern universe.
Right.
Meaning, you come to work on Monday, you guys make fun of me, we show it, we put it on the TV show, and everybody sees it.
Jeff Currow might yell at you.
Yeah, all right. So and the listeners are there, but listen, the place only holds 40,000. You know what I mean? So what happens is during the game, this guy Kevin Burkhardt is a really nice guy. He interviews me during the game, and then they show it. When they show it, my heart just stopped because then I realized now it's been taken out of the Howard Stern universe.
It's on everywhere.
And sent to the world.
Right.
And then like yesterday before the game, Jackson puts the game on every day. And before the game, that mayor of Cincinnati
Yeah.
that threw like the worst pitch ever. I turn on the game. It's 12:59, and I see they're doing a side by side.
Oh, my God.
I'm not kidding. But here's the worst. Here's the worst part of the whole
This is
thing.
one of the worst catastrophes I've ever seen.
And they say it's close.
Wouldn't it be cool if Major League Baseball started to use this clip like in an opening montage for every single game?
Like it became like
So they decided that as bad as mine was, it's pretty bad, but not quite as bad as the mayor of Cincinnati, but it's very close.
Right.
So I realize now that for all eternity, I'm the second worst pitch. The
You're
worst
linked
pitch
to
in
him.
New York, the second worst pitch, and I'm linked to the mayor of Cincinnati.
This might make Jackson a Yankee
While
fan.
all of this is going on, the whole weekend, like leading up to this, Mary's like getting mad at me, even like the couple of days before the game.
Because you're stressed out.
I'm stressed out. I'm ruining everything, and
Yeah,
it's
because
just-
Beth said to me, "How will Mary be about this?" I said, "Mary's a real ball buster. She's not going to sit and give him any compassion."
no. So
You shouldn't. I mean, this
No.
is ridiculous.
so it's the whole thing.
he embarrassed the whole
Have Mary,
family.
have Mary and your sons been relocated yet? Aren't they in the witness protection program?
So
All right, here's your new name.
So we get home on Saturday, and I'm really bummed out. Mary's like, God, like I've been putting up with this for 2 weeks. Is this going to go on now?
Right.
I go, Mary, it's all over the news.
Yeah.
She goes, who gives? Like, really? What do you care? You did a great thing
You're
for
a
autism.
man.
And I'm like, you're a woman. You do not understand what this means.
And she goes, you're a woman too.
So yesterday,
How do you understand what it means?
yesterday at 1 o'clock after this thing is on TV,
Right.
I just, hang my head and I go in my office and I'm in there. And she just comes in and she goes, so you're gonna ruin Mother's Day? She goes, this is what it's gonna be. She goes, this is my day, and now it's all about you.
Oh my God, you're really, really. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is way up there, right?
Oh my God, no!
Yeah.
Can I just say you could not have done a better job?
Thank you, Ralph.
Yeah, this is the greatest for the show. I mean, it's
Up at the ball game, looked like a dope in front of the crowd. Threw like a sissy, and that's a fact. His throw should be considerable act. So let's boo, 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 baba, Booey. He should be spanked by Hal McRae. 'Cause it's 1, 2, 3 times you're gay when you throw 20 feet from home plate.
I can't do it. I'm too stupid. I just can't figure it out, I swear. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm an idiot. I'm a friggin' idiot. F yourself. Shut up, asshole. You white asshole.
you white ass.
You white
Oh,
asshole.
what was that?
Richard, by the way, Richard, I guess definitely grew up in Kansas because the one player he put in there is from
Hal McRae.
the 1977 Royals.
He played for the Mets.
This is sweet. Gary's kids are on the phone. They want to make him feel better. Hey, Gary's kids. Oh, that's mean. Kids, what do you think of your dad? All right, they can't stop.
That sounds like Jake and Chubba from Queens.
Howard, here's how you know it's really, really bad. I get a text. I'm going to pick up my mother to bring her home for Mother's Day. I get a text on my phone, and it says, sorry about the first pitch. How are you doing? And you know how people text you and you don't know who it is?
Yeah.
So I go, who sent this? Because they should put their name on it. So what I usually do is I hit the button to dial it, and then I usually get the person's voicemail. It was the owner of the Mets.
Oh,
It was Jeff Wilpon.
You're
kidding me?
I sort of know him. But he's just like, he wanted to see how I was doing.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
By the way, they announced the game in Spanish. You could even hear during Gary's first pitch they reference it.
Pero primero, aquí está Gary Delabate del Howard Stern Show para tirar la primera pelota del juego.
Please welcome Gary Delabate.
También lo conoces como Baba Booey. Y ahí va. A la puchica, este pendejo Monkey Boy no puede tirar para nada. Quizás con ese gran peso de su tooth and gums enorme, su balance ya está todo chiflado. Los otros jugadores ya casi están cayendo por el ass breath que tiene este hombre. Ahí va ese Neanderthal jungle creature, ¿oímos? Todo el mundo. Y ya vamos a regresar después de este comercial.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
I got to tell you, the other thing is, it's a real sociological study in how people treat you, because some people who you think are your friends, like I got a couple of emails from people who were really, put the best spin on it. Like John Hine, okay, is a great friend, but like Mark Tinker and Jeff Probst both sent me notes that were like, dude, disaster, but but trying to be supportive. And then some people are just like,
Just assholes.
Did you read what I wrote on your Facebook?
yeah.
I wrote, I was nasty. I wrote, okay, first of all, I see Baba Booey went off to Toronto. I said,
Right.
I love how
What's
you
he
can
doing?
always connect those two.
I wrote, how did you have time
Following
to?
Springsteen?
Yeah, I go.
I saw Springsteen in '79. That's why I have to piss.
I go, how do you?
country?
I go, how do you? He went to Toronto Thursday night. I go, how do you have time to go to Toronto? And Ross Zapin too.
I'm off on Friday.
Springsteen will be here. Why does he have to go to Toronto?
Ross
I'm
isn't
going
off
next
on
week in
Friday.
New Jersey, 10 feet from my house.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
But
And
you know
then-
what,
and then I
Howard?
go, well,
If I
maybe
had
if you-
time, I would have gone.
I go, maybe if you didn't jet off to Toronto, you would have had some. You would have been awake enough to
Why
throw
do
the
you need
pitch.
to see him in Toronto?
I don't know.
Is he
don't
better
know.
in Toronto?
What did you do? You went to the. I heard the plane was late. The whole thing.
Yeah, which plane was delayed. We barely got there.
Oh my God!
But we got there.
Why would you put yourself through? Insane. What do you got there, Jason?
An article from Newsday.
Oh,
Oh, what does Newsday say?
Yeah, let's see. Howard Stern's longtime producer Gary Delabate is infamously known as Baba Booey. The history of the nickname comes from a mistake Delabate made in the studio many years ago. Saturday, Baba Booey messed up again, big time. Watch it. And then, guys write comments underneath it,
Oh,
and it's
my
like,
God.
ouch, Gary. This pitch just makes me cringe. I watched it live about 15 times. As someone who pitched for 10 years, he should have called me and not a sports psychologist, as he claims.
Howard, that's not a comment. That's the author.
Oh, that's the
Oh,
author.
my God. That's the writer from Newsday.
The key, I thought it was like a kid. This is great. The key is to put zip on the ball, Gary, and throw over the top. I really can't decide what it looked like. Maybe a boomerang throw, but I've never thrown a boomerang. It just looks horrible. Continuing to pile on, it's one of the most unathletic things I've ever seen from a grown man. It ranks second to Chris Rock's opening pitch, so at least you're behind Chris Rock. There's some good in this.
Apparently, it's worse than Chris Rock's, right?
Artie loves this.
Let me just say that. I the last time I was at a Met game was 1985. I told Gary. And the only 2 times I went back to Shea Stadium after that was to see the Who and the Rolling Stones.
Right.
This blew both away. This was the.
Did you know right
greatest
away,
night
like
ever.
as someone who played ball, when even the wind up is sort of
Well, I didn't wind up.
Not
My
wind up
suggestion
to-
to Gary was to wind up because if you wind up, you kind of get lost in the wind up a little bit, and it takes your head off throwing.
Right.
Like
But a lot of people said, and then already just as many people said, don't wind
Oh,
up. People
really?
just said, just throw it like you throw it in the front yard. Again, I'm telling you.
Well, clearly you should have listened to them.
I'm telling you, Jackson and I went out on the front lawn that morning because I walked it off. I threw the pitch, and it was a strike.
Walked it
and I
off.
can, in other words, we had the distance. We walked
measured
off the
it off.
distance.
You spent. Here's the problem, Gary. You spent way too much time thinking about that.
That's right.
Well,
That's
can I
right.
say something?
But I
first
also
of all,
am-
why put yourself in that position? In other words, I don't even think I've thrown a hard ball in my life. I don't know, maybe 10 times.
You do better, though, I'm sure.
I think I would because I've thrown balls and they.
Well, you're the type of person who the type A would kick into where you'd obsess. You'd make sure you could do it, otherwise you wouldn't do it.
Of course. In other words, why did you, Gary? You can't throw a ball. I've never seen.
I
that's
swear
a
to God I
girly
can, and I
throw.
swear to God I throw a ball every day.
When you, I don't know what you call this. When you go like this.
But I decided
that's,
to do.
That's how that's like a girl throws.
I
Like
decided to do 10 things at once.
It looked like you were in
Wow.
the Go-Go's.
Yeah, listen, I won't deny
Gary,
for a second how bad it looks, and I
Yeah, but
I
The
can do.
gayest
I
part
can throw.
is the way you threw it.
I know,
You
but that's because I tried. Like I went to
like
go.
Artie, like this. Like,
Howard, I know. I couldn't even do it. I tried to imitate it, and everything I
Artie-
did looked
Artie
more
beat-
manly.
Artie being there, was that like the greatest thing ever?
Ralph, I'm telling you, it was better than any concert I've been to. It was just the atmosphere. First of all, I wanted to hate that place, and I love it.
It was nice, huh?
Baseball heaven, man.
wow. So will you go again? Will you maybe go to some Met games?
If the Yankees beat them again in the World Series, I'll go. Yeah. I showed
Do you like
Jackson.
it better than the new Yankee Stadium?
Well, I haven't been there yet.
Oh,
I'm going. I'm going to a Yankee game with my tickets for the first time Friday coming up.
All right.
And I can't
You
wait.
throw a ball out there.
Yeah, but
I could hit. If you were sitting at home plate, I probably could hit you.
but
Do you want a second shot at this?
No.
Why don't you?
I thought about it. I really did. I thought about.
Would you like me to arrange for that?
No.
That would be
No.
too funny.
That would be the best.
I
Because
understand.
it's the pressure that I can't.
But
do.
I
need another
understand. What I
shot.
understand about Gary's situation is the pressure because. Look, I've thrown a baseball a million times, and I threw out the first pitch in a Newark Bears
Why would
game,
he
which isn't
have-
even close to being as devastatingly pressure-packed as this. It's a lot of pressure.
But this is his worst night. In other words, he couldn't have thrown it worse. In other words, let's
Right.
say he had missed. Let's say he didn't get a strike. Let's say it
Right.
Dribbled or something.
or maybe
at
he
the
didn't even
catcher's
reach
feet.
home plate.
Yeah.
At least this was his worst night. I mean, it couldn't have been worse than
It
this.
was a
What did he telegraph
self-fulfilling prophecy.
That ball
Yeah.
is somewhere on the moon right
It's like
now.
the greatest episode
It
of
does.
Seinfeld
It looks
ever.
like an air ball.
Do
I'm
they,
like,
do
what
they
was
give
he...
you? Do they give you the ball?
Oh
Afterwards?
yeah, I have it.
Oh, did you throw it out?
No, it's at my house.
I mean,
Yeah,
you don't want to
maybe
be reminded.
The ball is defective.
Why would you
do.
keep that?
You know
should
what,
get rid-
Gary?
throw it
No,
in the garbage.
You should keep it and have have Lance Bass sign it or something.
Yeah, that's funny.
Like have
every
all of
gay
it,
guy.
all of NSYNC sign it.
Have it analyzed.
Joey Fatone. Great throw, Gary. Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't you, Gary. You have that analyzed. Something's wrong with that ball.
You should have signed it. That guy Lou who discovered the Backstreet Boys.
No, he's in prison. I can get it to him.
He throws
The
more
guy who's in
manly.
prison, boys.
I'm gonna ask
Allegedly.
Mary.
Allegedly fucking a boy.
I'm gonna ask Mary to send me the ball, and I'm gonna send it to Lou.
Just send it to whatever prison Lou's in, and say, Lou, next time could you sign this ball? To Gary.
Poor
Lou.
Gary. Gary's standing here while Artie and I are laughing. And Robin's laughing.
But you know what?
And you don't even know what to do with
I
yourself.
mean, this is
You expected
this
this.
is expected.
Can I just say, for people who haven't seen it, with the camera, when the camera's on it, he throws it off camera.
No, I know. If do they charge money on YouTube? I've never been on there. I don't.
No, it's free.
Oh yeah, I'm saying if they charged, it had to make more than Star Trek this weekend. Right?
Oh, absolutely. This will be the most downloaded clip ever in the history.
But in a sense, it proves sort of how many people. It's amazing how many people know, and it's a testament to the show, Baba Booey.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's insane. Like, all 40,000 people knew.
Wait.
When you say Baba Booey, all ushers. Oh, wait, this is the greatest thing ever. So there's a guy, Charlie, who works there.
Yeah.
Charlie is a quintessential New Yorker, like the greatest guy. When he goes, Artie, tell Howard I said hi. I love you, man. My son loves the show. Did you meet my son? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, what's Gary going to do? You think he's going to throw the ball good? I'm like, I guess, we'll see what happens. After Gary threw the ball, Charlie's walking around. He's supposed to be working. Charlie's walking around going, Artie, that was the gayest thing I've ever seen. And I once saw a guy suck a cock.
Is that what he said?
That guy's a comedian.
Charlie, if you're listening, call in. That's the gayest thing I've ever seen, and I once saw a guy suck a cock.
Hook Nose Mike is on the air. We've spoken to him in a while. Hook Nose, hi.
Hey, good morning, Howard, you hook-nosed Jew bastard. Listen, Gary, you have to let Howard set it up again. You got to redeem yourself.
I think in a way you do.
You do.
Yeah, good. That's good advice, Hook.
No, but Gary really needs to go out there and throw the pitch
Listen,
properly.
You need to get this one behind you.
Garrett, do me a favor. Can we play catch one day?
Yeah.
And and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to say if Gary should do it again. I'm going to be brutally honest.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
But
Hey,
based
Howard,
on what you saw...
Howard film Artie having a catch with
Yeah,
Gary,
we'll
too.
film it. But Artie, based on what you saw...
Right.
I mean, Gary gives you this thing he was winding up, but also doing something else, 10 different throws.
Right.
The fact of the matter is, he can't throw, and he doesn't know it. He's one of those guys, like you say, who thinks they're funny, and they're not.
Right.
And you saw absolutely no indication that he can throw.
Listen, you know how... Look, like when I went to see a shrink for the first time, he thought I am because he's an expert.
Yeah.
He's like, look,
Right.
dude, you up.
And you accepted it.
Yeah, I
because-
accept because, I mean, the guy knows what he's talking about. Major League pitchers are calling Gary and saying it was the worst thing they've ever seen. I mean,
The guy from the Daily News
the
is
owner of the
saying it.
Mets, the Daily News.
Oh, my God.
I mean, you know what, Gary, it really is
My
the
father
best.
hasn't called me in 10 years.
Hello,
My
Howard?
father goes, my father's like, did you see that pitch? I go, yeah, Dad. He goes, well, what kind of pitch was that? He goes, well, it was unbelievable.
Yeah,
We
and
got to
guys-
call my dad.
Guys get angry about that because I get off the plane yesterday and the guy who meets me at the plane says, Gary sucks.
Well, Gary is a guy's guy. Like,
You know
Gary
what's-
knows sports. You can talk to sports. So you think it's going to be better. And then,
But you know what's bad? Listen to these reports. My name's all over the pitch.
Right,
because-
I know. Your name's getting
You
dragged
got
through the
fucked
mud.
again.
Yeah, me, really. I'm the one.
I said to Gary, you know what? You got to beg Bob Schimmel to beat up his wife.
You need to
Right.
go into the witness
the
protection
way-
program with Mary Jackson and Lucas.
Artie
Yeah.
said that, not me.
No, almost, allegedly beat up his wife.
Thank you.
The whole story
Thank you,
will
Artie.
come
It was a whole other thing
All
going
right,
on.
listen to this.
Bill.
This is a montage of Baba Booey's first pitch news stories that were immediately on TV.
Wow.
The game's first pitch was thrown out by Howard Stern's producer, Gary Dell'Abate. A little awful. Baba Booey, Baba blew it.
Gary Dell'Abate from Howard Stern, Baba Booey. That's just embarrassing.
Baba Booey. Not sure who he is, but I'm told he's a Howard Stern personality. Well, he can't pitch. Throws the first pitch badly.
Howard Stern's sidekick, Baba Booey, threw out one of the worst ceremonial first pitches on record.
Oh, my
Watch it
God.
again. He didn't come close to finding the catcher.
Baba Booey from the Howard Stern Show. That's the worst first pitch I've ever seen.
Baba Booey. Gary Dell'Abate from the Howard Stern Show. Throwing out the first pitch at the Pirates-Mets game.
Oh, my God.
Didn't go real well.
Fans of Howard Stern, this is Baba Booey for you. And that guy, for all the bad karma he's built up, that's exactly what he deserves.
And today at Citi Field, Gary Dell'Abate of the Howard Stern Show shows how not to throw a ceremonial first pitch. As Bob Uecker would say, the pitch was just a bit outside. Obviously, the guy they call Baba Booey never played baseball at his former high school, Uniondale High on Long Island. In the words of Bill Walton, that was horrible.
To New York, Baba Booey from the Howard Stern Show throwing the first pitch badly. I hope they Baba Booed him out of the park.
I mean,
Oh,
that
my
is
God.
really your worst nightmare,
Yeah, no,
guy.
that's it, that's it.
It's like the greatest episode of Seinfeld
But
ever.
again,
You're
you-
George.
Uniondale High School.
They've
It's
got your
embarrassing.
whole history.
See, that explains one of my guys I went to high school wrote me on Facebook about embarrassing the high school, but now
Gary, this
How
is a
did you leave the
disaster.
house?
Yeah, this is a disaster.
How do I leave the house? Ralph, at the end of the day, it's hugely embarrassing. I still produce a major radio show.
He lives
that
in
has nothing to do with
Connecticut. There's
throwing a
all
ball.
fruits up there.
Gary, all that considered, you can't throw a ball.
Okay, fine. You can't get a job.
Yeah, I have a job.
No, you
And
don't.
I can throw a ball better than you.
That I would like to see.
That I promise you. I'll bet you $1,000 I could throw a ball better than you.
I'll tell you what, Ralph, because you're such a big mouth.
Yeah.
Why don't you go and throw out the first pitch at Citi Field?
Sure, why not?
I mean,
sure I could
because
do better than
they're not
you.
looking for him.
No, but I'm saying, he thinks he could throw it better, but
But Gary,
Do I have to
he
wear a
probably
little
can
jersey
throw
like
it better because he's good. Anyone can outdo that pitch, probably.
well, not anyone.
I like the chick who goes, and Gary Baba blew it.
Oh my God!
I like when they call him Gary Delabonte.
I know, but they all get Baba Booey correct.
Yeah, that they get.
First of all,
blew it.
if you put it on a scale,
When a chick says he Baba blew
Yeah.
it.
yeah, Chris Rock grew up, I think, in a project in Bed-Stuy.
Right.
He probably never played
There
Little
wasn't
League.
a field anywhere near him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And his father probably left him at an early age.
I
or
don't
something.
know if
he's
Rock.
from his father was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
Black guy and his father was there? Okay.
according to the show, everyone hates Chris. He's got a dad. I don't know, but he grew up in Bed-Stuy. I know, so there's he probably didn't spend a lot of time playing ball.
Yeah.
So you gotta give Rock that a little bit. Gary actually played. Gary's is probably worse than Chris's on that level.
I mean, all the preparation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Doug Goodstein from Howard TV.
We have multiple angles of this, so we just analyzed the side angle of Gary, and in mid-pitch, you'll see he licks his lips, too.
By the way,
is
how do you
interesting.
have multiple angles of this? Because you were allowed to shoot
Yeah,
this,
we're
right?
doing a real licensing deal with Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Doug sends
not like
before you
the
roll
stolen footage.
Yeah, Doug sends me a note this morning. Tell everyone not to watch YouTube. To only watch it on Howard TV because we have a licensed agreement with the Major League Baseball.
It's just frustrating.
I'm sitting there laughing. Yeah, okay, Doug.
Yeah, everybody's going to say, "Oh, Evan,
It's so
I'm going to
frustrating. I
watch
spent
you."
hours making a deal with Major League Baseball on Friday, and then
Yeah, but you got the multiple angles and stuff. Everyone will tune into Howard TV.
Look, Howard's a powerful guy, but I don't think in this day and age he's going to get no one to watch YouTube.
I know, but Howard says
no one watch
watch
YouTube.
I didn't say that. I said
I'm
if you're
not
going to promote it, promote Howard TV, not YouTube, where it's illegal.
Well, because no one's going to wait for Howard TV.
Right.
They're going to watch it on YouTube, but you're going to have a funny multiple angle.
And then
thing.
after this, there's also a shot when Gary ran out. He did something weird too. I don't even know if
I
you
just jumped
remember
over the
it.
line.
Yeah, he did like a weird hop over the line.
All right, so here's Gary from another angle. Artie, watch carefully. You're our expert. Go ahead. Here we go. Look, where did he go wrong? Ooh.
Right there.
Yeah. See, even I know, and I'm not an expert.
Oh,
But
look
you
at
don't-
his face. Oh.
It looks like he was aiming for the stands.
There's a beaten man.
You look like a beaten man.
Are any Met players laughing in the background?
Well, that's another thing. So I got a buddy who works for Rawlings, and he knows all the players. So the whole time he's emailing me like, "Good luck with the pitch. How did it go?" And he sent me back a note. This is probably the most stinging one of all. I got reports from all the players. It's worse than you imagine.
Oh my God!
So that means like the players are like, now it's like the inside joke of the clubhouse.
Yeah.
I'm such a.
I know how much this matters to Gary.
And it
That's
would
what
matter to me too, Gary.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I can
But you
relate
wouldn't
to
have fucked up.
Well, listen, I don't know, Howard. Maybe I would, but the one thing, like, what I would say in my head was, just don't look like a chick.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, just
Throw it
I
well.
would throw it as hard as I could, and if it went wild, I would go, look, a lot of major league pitchers throw wild too.
Absolutely.
But just don't look like a broad. I don't know. It's a lot of pressure.
Artie, be honest. You wouldn't have thrown a ball like that.
No, of course he would.
It's physically impossible.
Here's that little
you
hop.
couldn't look like that.
I don't think so.
Here's the Gary hop.
Well, that's superstition. That's
a lot of players do that.
Managers do that.
He
too.
should have stepped all over that line.
Yeah,
Well-
I don't know why you cared about superstition.
And I just want to point out one thing. Not that it matters much, but I didn't hire a sports psychiatrist. The guy, Fred, the guy emailed Fred and
whatever.
that I called, but I didn't hire him. I didn't pay him.
You met with him though.
No. He gave me his phone number, and I talked to him on the way home one day.
Yeah.
Yay.
He was a big help.
How are you a little league coach? Do you teach the kids how to throw?
Oh, my God. How can he go back?
Well,
Yeah,
Little League
you
chicks
do?
play.
Well, no, by the time I get them, they know how to throw. So I'm not teaching them how to throw. I'm teaching them where to throw. Listen, I pitch batting practice. I'm telling you, I can do better than that.
Right.
Batting practice.
You know what's the greatest
Batting practice for who?
For the guys in the dugout?
What is that, Ralph?
Gary has like a jersey, like a baseball jersey on too.
Yeah.
No, it's a T-shirt, Ralph.
They gave him a Met shirt that said Baba Boo. Why number 9, by the way?
You know, I don't know. The guy handed it to me. I have no idea what the number meant.
That really was Bruce Beauclair's number. One quick Sebastian Bach story because
Oh, my
it was
God.
the funniest thing ever.
He's out of control.
He's
Howard.
out of control, but
He didn't
he's
tie his dick in a knot.
No, but sort of.
Listen to this. Listen to this. Everybody who's half a celebrity at one point who's down on the field, they asked to take a picture with all the autistic kids. There were like 10-year-old autistic kids
And
there.
probably like 10 autistic kids.
10-year-old autistic kids, okay?
Right.
They're right in front of us. They hear everything you say. And even I'm an obnoxious prick. I'm watching what I say. Sebastian Bach comes over to get in the picture. He wraps his arms around like me and Joe. dude, what's up? I got the weed in New York, man. Let's get stoned after this, like, turpentine that I got. And he goes, Gary, thanks for talking about my cock. Gary always talks about cock on the show, man. And the autistic kids are, like, jumping up and down.
He said cock a good half a dozen times.
They're totally oblivious that their kids are around.
Yeah, like even my son.
Hey, man, what's the big deal? They got cocks, too.
Yeah, who cares? And then he says to me,
who cares? They don't know what's going on.
He goes, dude, I read your book, and you know how your father took you to the front row at a Yankee game? My father did the same thing to me at a Kiss concert. But he said cock, what,
six, seven times.
So, Gary, someone told me that your attitude with this pitch is that you're going to embrace it fully and just start living like a woman. You're going to start.
Really? Who told you that?
That's what someone told me. Like you're going to get you the
put on a dress.
operations.
Changing his name.
Yeah.
That's who you should get to sign the ball, Siobhan.
Dominic, you're on the air.
Well, two things. First thing, I had to go to criminal court Sunday morning. A businessman got into a fight with his girlfriend, beat her up. I go all the way in the back where everyone's locked up and all these people are in there. And I go up to my client, and here he is, never in trouble in his life. He says, first thing he says to me is, did you see that pitch?
Is that true?
Is there any chance that that's true,
There's
Howard?
no way that's true.
Dominic is so...
Guys in jail?
Yeah, that's the first thing on his mind, Dominic. I mean, really. Jail, getting ready to be ass raped, and that's his first thing.
Can I tell you, walking in the streets, people are yelling it out?
To you?
Just yelling it out, of course. It's incredible.
No.
The pitch heard round the world.
All right. Thank you, Dominic.
Should be yelling, why don't you get married for a fifth time?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure which is more embarrassing.
You're dating your ex-wife?
Speaking of Dominic, Gary would have done better if he just ran up to the umpire and hit him with a plate of pasta.
Here's Artie's friend, Charlie. Do you know Charlie?
Oh, Charlie, yeah.
Charlie, yeah.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Oh, my God. It was the most retarded thing I've ever seen. I volunteered at Untold for 4 years after school. I'm kidding. Good morning, everybody.
Morning. How do you know Artie?
Well, I worked at City Field.
No, I met him for the first time on the field.
This isn't that guy.
It does,
This
Charlie,
isn't him. This is a younger guy. Charlie's an older guy.
Charlie, where exactly did we meet?
Right by, with the first time that I saw you at City Field.
Yeah, no, this ain't him.
This ain't him.
Yeah, he's pretending to be Charlie.
Good ear, Gary.
I actually know Charlie pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Wolfie,
Used to
go
be
ahead.
a friend.
Hey, Howard. I'm not one to usually be negative, but I've seen better arms on a snake. It reminded you of a little kid. They just wind up and throw, and they're 2 feet away from you, and the ball just completely jumps to the side. And I was actually rooting for the guy because his kids were there.
You know what did Gary in? I'll tell you what did Gary in, Wolfie. The pitch itself was not televised originally. You went out and did the first pitch. They don't televise that.
Well, they wouldn't have televised this one either.
Right. What
the
happened
pitch
was
in general is not televised.
you were interviewed during the game, and that's what did you in. They did the replay.
That's what I'm saying.
That was in the body.
That's when it was taken out of the Howard Stern universe and brought to the whole world. That's what did me
Want
in.
to hear that
The
clip?
body of the game.
As long as we're playing clips, I ought to play you that.
Hey, can I just point out, I'll help you with this one, as long as we're going the full route.
Yeah, where is it, by the way? Because
It's right below Gary, page 2. It says Kevin Burkhardt.
Set up for this, up the pitch in red.
Yeah.
It's Gary, GFP page. Go pitch.
Did you find Howard?
Yeah, Gary interviewed.
Okay, but the important thing is, so Kevin Burkhardt is the field reporter. So
GGP, Gary Gay pitch in red. Wait, Gary Gay pitch in pink.
So Kevin Burkhardt
All the jokes are endless.
Page 3.
This just writes itself.
Hey, Artie, can I ask you a question?
Wait, let me throw up.
Can I ask you a question?
This is a sitcom episode.
You know what? You other thing, Gary. When I went on YouTube, and like my father said, I said to my father still doesn't understand technology. I go, I'm going to go right on the computer and watch it. He goes, you could go on the computer.
You have it there?
You have it there? He couldn't even comprehend it. Like he doesn't even live in the universe.
Neither do I.
But as soon as I turn on, I go, that's Artie standing right next to the catcher. And I go, why? No matter what, would Gary have Artie? That had to, like...
Well, I did.
That had to throw you off, too.
I didn't invite him. He
right
just said he wanted to
there.
come, and I said, okay.
I said I might go. I got up. I mean, nowadays, I'm up in the morning. I'm like, let's go outside.
Yeah.
I said to Joe, let's go to City Field. I'm dying to see what it looks like. And Gary, it's a good cause and everything, and we all tried to help out the charity.
Here it is again.
Okay, it.
There's Artie. See, there's Artie.
Oh, right.
By the way, look at about half the size of what he was.
Yeah.
How much weight have you lost?
40 pounds, Howard.
Wow.
You know what? I couldn't recognize you on the screen. You're so small.
The guy in the yellow, by the way, Howard. That's
good.
That's Charlie.
That's Charlie in the yellow. Right there.
This guy right here.
Yeah, he's been an usher. He was an usher at Shea. He's been there forever.
He's down on the field too.
No, he's always on the field.
I pointed to Lucas and Jackson because the old Shea Stadium's not there anymore. It's actually kind of sad.
Yeah.
I said, "You see this parking lot?" And they're like, "Yeah." I said, "That's where the Yankees beat the Mets in 2000."
Hey, I have a question.
What?
Can't you get whacked with a ball? Look at how close the people are to the.
Well, not with Gary.
Not during the game. They're not there during the game.
Oh, what is this?
This is Gary's pitch.
This is my pitch.
Yeah, I know, but during the game, they're not sitting there?
No. What do you say? Oh, the people,
They're
that's a net.
sitting there.
There's a net there.
There's a big net.
A big net.
There's a big net.
I can't
And the
see
people that are like where Artie is, those people aren't on the field during the game.
All right. No, I don't mean the people on the field. I mean, I didn't see the net.
The big net there, yeah.
Wow, that's good. So, Gary, are you guys... here they're rolling it from a different angle.
Watch
the same angle.
If you notice me, I turn around and stuff like
Yeah, now watch Artie. Artie's going to come... Artie's like... Artie's cracking up already. And look, there's that guy Charlie talking to you.
Yeah. Charlie ran over to me, and he just got... I mean, like within 2 seconds, I turned around.
Look at what's going on. Forget Gary's pitch. Watch behind him.
I gotta watch Artie.
Artie moves to the side. The pitch goes off. Now Charlie runs toward Artie. Artie is doubled over with laughter.
Charlie ran over. That's what he said. The suck a cock line.
What was the line again?
He said, "Artie, that's the gayest thing I've ever seen," and I once saw a guy suck a cock.
Oh, man. There's not a bad angle of that.
Oh, my God. Mike, go ahead.
There ain't a good angle of it either.
Yeah, Mike.
Howard.
Yes.
Yeah, how about we put this on a loop, man, so we can see it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But not only that, I want to get can you get like close-ups of the frightening looks of the players, of the people in the stands?
I wonder if, like the Sabruta film, if they can just take it, like do a close-up on Artie, close-up on Charlie.
Well, and even watch the trajectory of the ball here. And now here's where it goes off.
And it looks like... And then, like, see people in the stands, like in other words, those people behind the net there, like if they could just, like, somehow graphically improve the thing.
It would be great if a guy like the Zapruder film...
The expressions on their faces.
It would be great if a guy like the Kennedy assassination, where people like, there's another ball coming from a grassy knoll.
That's what you should have done. You should have had, like, somebody throw it from somewhere else.
Right, and forget
You should have had
ball.
someone else throw it.
You were going to play that tape. I'm just trying to keep you on track.
Yeah, that's all right. Don't worry.
We got time.
Much like Baba Booey, Gary thought that would go away in a week. This is never going away.
I
There's
know.
another one that's going to be with us forever.
Do you know the fans, Howard, are so funny? Like the Jake and Chubba guys. They said to me, "Listen, we're big Howard fans. You got to bust Gary's bull smart." And then he said, "Could you say Happy Mother's Day to Jake and Chubba's mom on the air?"
In the middle of everything.
I said, "Yeah, that's what I'll do."
Frank, you're on the air in Longview. Longview, what is it, Washington?
Yes.
Okay.
Great pitch, Gary.
Do I detect sarcasm?
Oh, just a little bit. It was beautiful. No, actually, I loved it.
All right, Frank, there you go. So here's a guy who liked it.
Do it again.
Thank you, Frank.
Gary, please. Oh, give him another chance. And I want to see Artie pitch.
Listen, man, I'd love to throw out the first pitch of the Yankee game, but the Yankees are notoriously snooty. They're a snobby organization.
Yeah.
I mean they actually don't let just anybody onto the field.
I think you know what, and this pisses me off about the Yankees, because Babe Ruth pours and drank and everything. I think they'd have an issue with this show, maybe, but I'm going to try. I would love to. I mean, listen, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll try.
If they have an issue with the show, I mean, George Steinbrenner used to do the show all the time.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
That's right. You guys used to interview him.
In fact, when the guy from Anthrax stole the on-deck circle down at Tampa, he was going to go to jail, and he called Howard and said, "I know you're friends with Steinbrenner. Please help me."
Wow.
And we got Steinbrenner on the phone, and Howard said, "Hey, he's a good guy. He didn't mean it." And Steinbrenner dropped the charge.
I forgot about that.
So listen, we're that friendly with
I'll
him.
try to do it, and it would be pressure on me. It would. If anyone can make that happen out there in Yankee land,
I'll look into it.
Yeah.
Brett, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Gary. I just want to know which is more embarrassing to look at, your pitch or your boo-hoo, I miss you video.
Oh, the love video. Which is worse to you in terms of like the show and taking abuse?
So it's hard to tell. This one's too new.
Right.
Like
This
I
one feels
need
bad.
a couple of weeks to go by, but I guess they're probably pretty
by a
equal.
mile.
Ralph, I was just talking.
This is really embarrassing, Gary.
The only thing that sucks about this for Gary is he can't sell you the video.
That's right.
It happened already.
Yeah.
A freebie.
Yeah, that love video is pretty bad, but
No,
so
this is way worse.
Gary says the pitch is worse. I would think the love video would be worse.
I said I haven't decided yet.
How did you do? You did interviews after that? Like, how did you just not run out of there?
Because I had an obligation to the Autism Society, et cetera, et cetera.
All right, so here is the interview Gary did. So
can I point something out? So this guy, Kevin Burkhardt, he's like a field reporter, really nice guy. So he's interviewing me, and I know this has been set up in advance because Howard was asking me the other day, why on earth would you do an interview? But this was set up in advance that I would promote the Autism Society. The important thing to hear on this, because it is funny, is I think it's Keith Hernandez and Howie Rose are in the booth. And when I start talking about it, you can hear them laughing.
Keith Hernandez,
Keith Hernandez is legendary.
One of the best first basemen who's ever lived.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys, and like Howie Rose is watching the game.
That's why there's pressure. I mean, right before, I was so, again, I wanted to hate the place, but I became a little kid again.
Yeah.
When I got down on the field before Gary threw the pitch, David Wright and Carlos Delgado were playing what the players call long toss. They were probably a football field away from each other, and they casually just tossed the ball. And they, it's like a line drive right to the other guy's mitt. And you're looking at these amazing athletes, and a 10-year-old kid is in awe. They're looking at two all-stars, and I'm thinking, what's going like? These are men, and we're boys almost. And Gary's got to go throw out a pitch in front of these guys. It could not have gone any worse. I mean, it would be like getting kicked out of you in front of Mike Tyson. You know?
Did the autism kids laugh at you, Gary?
Yeah, they all did.
Well, they all laughed. This is the first hour of the show. I said, I got an easy job on Monday. I woke up kind of happy.
You kidding me? I had a stand-up gig that night, Howard. It was the first half hour of my act. It was perfect.
Ron Darling was calling the game, right? Wasn't he?
Well, he might have been at some point. Ron
Gary Cohn?
It was Ron Darling, Gary Cohn. Is it Howie Rose? I can't remember if he's still with the.
I don't know if I don't listen to Met games. I don't know.
Okay, so here's Gary interviewed, and this is when he knew it went horribly wrong, because I think Gary was shocked that during the interview about autism, then the guy goes, let's take a look at that pitch.
Shocked. I got to tell you.
Speaking of autism.
Because then you know. Because then you know.
It'll never go away.
It's never going away. Yeah, that's it.
If anybody doesn't understand what autism is.
That's the greatest comment since, go ahead, call me Baba Booey, that'll last a day. When you said, "Oh yeah, don't even bother tuning in. It's not televised."
Well, it shouldn't have been televised.
Yeah. Well, here it is.
Let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Guys, Howard Stern fans know exactly who this guy is. It's Gary Dell'Abate, the producer for 25 years.
It's Robin Quivers.
Stern Show, also Baba Booey. We all know you by that as well. You are also the host here of Autism Awareness Day at Citi Field. How did that come about?
Jim Watkins' wife gave me a call. Jim Watkins from CW11 News at night. And she said, we could sell a lot of tickets if you would come up to the suite and be the host and throw out the first pitch. So we started talking about the first pitch on the air, and Artie, who works on our show, is a big Yankee fan, was giving me a lot of grief about it. And we talked about how nervous I was throwing it out, and that generated a lot of people buying tickets to come and see me. And in case you're wondering, I blew it.
How did that go? I know there was a lot of stuff going on the other, so much so that you had a certain call from a certain psychologist.
One of our listeners was a sports psychologist, so he called me, and I was on my way home one day, so I talked to him for 40 minutes in the car. Obviously, it didn't help.
Yeah, all that counseling, it didn't really work. It's a great. What do you like best about the cause?
I love that they not only raise money because they need money for education, because it's really a lifelong thing that needs to be dealt with, but they're trying to raise awareness. And I tell anybody, if you just sort of Google autism, if you don't know enough about it, just Google it and find out more about it, because I'm sure somebody, you must know somebody who's affected with it, and that's a big thing.
We don't have a monitor in front of us. We're going to show the pitch, Gary. Actually, we do have a monitor up here. See if we can show the pitch. We're in a little bit delay after this pitch from Maine that's fouled back. So we'll see if we can take a look at the beauty of this first pitch. And here we go. What are you thinking right now? Wow.
I was really hoping that would not end up on television. So embarrassed.
Ooh, wow.
I mean, they tell you not to bounce it, but they also, I don't know that anybody ever told you not to throw it into the stands either.
Oh, my God.
The distance. The bad news was I hit the umpire.
Gary, thanks for being involved in the great cause, and thanks for not pitching in the Mets bullpen.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Good to see you.
Comes back to you.
And when you wake up Monday morning, you will be hearing never letting Gary hear the end of that pitch. I mean, he's going to hear about that for the next 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm at the point.
I'm going to pull a Rick Peterson on you, Gary. Forget about the sports psychologist. Come to me. I'll be fixed in 10 minutes.
I'll have you fixed in 10 minutes.
Line to left, right at Tatis.
Who said that?
The lunging grab.
I think that was Hernandez.
A scorcher.
Keith Hernandez?
Yeah, Tatis
Then-
stays with it.
I think Ralph Kiner, if they leave it.
Kiner says something?
Kiner starts talking about.
For John Maine as we take another look at Baba Booey's.
Oh, they played again.
Watch out, Tony Randazzo. It's coming your way.
That
was field day.
That was Ron Darling, not Keith Hernandez.
Now, the good news is.
Ron Darling, a great pitcher.
And a nice guy, too.
Yeah.
The good news, if there's any little bit of good news, even though they reshowed it again, on my TV, it got cut off early. Ralph Kiner started talking, and then he starts, I don't know if you know, but Ralph Kiner had
Kiner's corner.
But he had a stroke.
Yeah, I know.
So he talks, really bad. So he starts, I guess he's just looking for any angle. So he starts talking about how when we played with the Pirates, we had a sports psychologist, too. They brought him in. And he went over on a whole rap about that.
That's a bad guy to up in front of, because not only Ralph Kiner was one of the best home run hitters ever, I think he Rita Hayworth.
Yeah, he used to date a lot of stars.
I think, it's really weird,
He needs
too.
the sports psychologist now.
I'm like thinking, who picks sports psychologists as a profession? They've got to be hurting in this economy. I mean, how many people are going to hire a sports
you
psychologist?
can cut that guy out.
You know what, Howard? I bet every team has a guy that makes more money than he should.
Hey, Howard, you have to re-sign. This can't go away in a year.
I was going to say that it could be gone in a year and a half.
It's not going anywhere.
You have to stay on just because of that pitch.
It's here like AIDS.
Since the pitch, have you with Mary yet? I bet you haven't even.
No, but that's not any.
Do you feel like less?
Anything like? I mean, if it was a strike, I don't think we would have.
Can't possibly get it out to a woman after that.
Wow.
Right?
Oh God.
Yeah, that's right, Ralph. I can't. Ralph is so astute.
Well, let's go to Mr. Warmth. Hi.
I want to thank Gary as a member of the Stern Fan Network for giving us a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Gary.
Did you have a big weekend of comedy, Mr. Warmth?
Oh, yes. The comedy gods were smiling down.
I have a feeling like most of the people in the stands probably thought Gary was an autistic kid.
Yeah.
And he would have gotten away with it. Like they were like, hey, that's a pretty good pitch for an autistic
Let's
kid.
hear it for Skippy.
Yeah. But then I think once they went on TV and outed him as Gary from the Howard Stern
He's
Show.
not autistic.
Let's hear it for Belinda Carlisle.
That'd be funny if he'd gone out dressed up in a dress the next time. Like if they let him go out again.
Throwing out the first pitch and talking about it later on her Twitter, Paris Hilton.
So, Artie, I got a question for you.
You doubled over with laughter on the field.
Howard, I mean,
You turned away.
listen,
You were so embarrassed
It was
for him.
such a great New York moment. New Yorkers are so brutally honest, and like everyone's sitting there. And I was rooting for Gary so much because I love Gary, and I really wanted to see him do good. But there was nothing else to do but just crack up, and everyone. It was like the '70s.
But
It was
you
so
actually
great.
you doubled over with laughter where you had to hold on to. I saw a railing.
I held on to the back thing.
You almost fell over.
Yeah, I had been to the gym. I was weak.
Well, Gary, I don't know.
I don't even know if you saw it the first time hit the umpire. You were so funny. Oh, my God.
It really was one of the. Listen, I was at the game where Reggie Jackson hit the 3 homers.
There he goes. Oh, there's Gary doubled over. I mean, there's Artie doubled over.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. And Charlie talking to me. And all those guys, by the way, all those guys in the yellow shirts, they're all security guys, ex-cops who work security there. They all had the same opinion of the pitch, pretty much. Charlie had.
So how do you go on living with this? I mean, what's your plan? I mean,
Time goes by,
Was your
This too
weekend-
shall pass.
Was your weekend the worst weekend ever?
See, the funny thing was my weekend was the worst weekend for me. I mean, I had to go out yesterday. My kids both had flag football games, and only one person said anything to me. Most people hadn't seen it, or if they did, they didn't say anything to me.
They were too embarrassed.
So I said, like, when we got up, Mary goes, again, is this going to be the whole day? I said, Mary, we're going to a field of thousands of fathers. I go, that's all they're going to talk about.
Right.
And so the best part was, we're standing there, and she goes, see, nobody's talking about it. And then one of the dads I know who actually runs the Major League Baseball network comes over and he goes, like, not even like, hey, he goes, what was that? He's like, what was that?
Oh, did Mary hear that?
And I go, see? And she goes, one guy. And it was one guy yesterday.
Right.
Then my in-laws came over, and my father-in-law, like, sort of heard about it. He's like, can we see it? And I'm like, no.
yeah.
And, it's a lot of that.
Right.
And then, I tell you what, Saturday night, I went to bed, and I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning sweating and just replaying the pitch in my head all over again and thinking about this morning, even though this is, about what I expected, but, you still think about it.
So you woke up and the first thing you thought about was the pitch. And it
was like literally in my head, you just replayed over, like, why did I throw it like that? Why didn't I just do what I was going to do?
Like Scott Norwood.
Yeah,
pretty much.
What were you going to do?
Well, again, I practiced like a wind-up in a real pitch, throwing really hard, and then I just wasn't confident in that. Then I just thought I'd throw it as a throw, and I can't explain it.
How you know what it's like?
Well, let me alone. Let me be, will you? Why me? Why me? Why did it have to be me?
I met him too.
You know what it's like? Do you know who Scott Norwood is? Scott Norwood was the guy in the Super Bowl in 1991 who missed the field goal against the Giants. He had to kick a 47-yarder, and it went wide right by a foot, and they lost the Super Bowl. So it ruined Scott Norwood's life for a little while. He was run out of Buffalo, and there was a movie called Buffalo 66 made about it.
Right.
Vincent Gallo made this amazing movie about it. And, there was an auto parts store in New Jersey called Norwood Auto Parts. And everybody said if you get a part from there, your car will veer to the right. I think the place went out of business. It never ended. And the movie Buffalo 66 is all about Vincent Gallo goes to jail because he lost a bet on Scott Norwood. He gets out of jail and wants to kill him. So at the end of the movie, he shoots him in a strip club. This is a mini version of that. I think it's never going to go away. You're so popular. The show's so popular. Baba Booey's a popular thing. 40,000 people. It's all everybody knows about it.
Do you wish you hadn't done it now in retrospect?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My instincts were right last week to not want to do it.
Yes, but
why do you? All right, I'm getting psychological now. Do you think on any level you wanted to fail? I mean, this was a moment totally in your control.
Oh, sure.
It was, is there something in you that couldn't accept success that you had to
No,
fail?
I think you're at a...
I'm just asking.
No, I think you're into the whole shrink thing, but I think you're reading too much into it. I really wanted to do it. I really wanted it to go well.
Right.
But all you kept saying, Gary, was that it's going to be messed up. Every time you thought about it, you threw a messed up pitch.
And that's what would happen.
The only Gary made a face right after the pitch, and this is why, because I like Gary so much, I could. The only time I've seen that face before is when he's trying to make a point, and out of nowhere, Fred plays ba ba ba. It's just such a look of defeat.
Well, they've got that close-up angle on his face.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Can you roll that side close-up? I know this is turning into the Zapruder film. Let me see his face. I'm going to study it. All right, here we go. He's intense. He's throwing. You see, he didn't pick up his hand high enough over his head or something.
And it releases too early.
And now he knows the pitch has gone bad right here. Ooh.
And then he bends over and throws up.
I know.
Yeah, what is this bending over thing?
No, I just was like,
thank God, David Wright.
Oh, he mooned me. He mooned everyone.
It looked like David Wright missed it. It looked like he was running with his back towards you, so at least that happened.
You kind of ran out on the field, too, kind of spazzy.
By the way, you also look very heavy.
I know.
You got to.
I had the black. Well, I've lost 10 pounds. I got to lose 20 more. So I'm working on it.
Good.
I mean, it's one thing at a time.
Me and Guy were talking after the game, and but the luxury suites there are so great.
Look at that shot. Look at the shot of Gary on the screen. You see how he puts his tongue out?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm like Jordan.
Yeah, Michael Jordan used to do that all the time. Whenever he shot.
You throw like Michael Jordan.
No, he just flicks his tongue out like Michael.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
He plays baseball like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Were the garage guys heckling you this morning? Because that's what I heard.
No. The guy in the garage is. Yeah. I got to tell you.
Nice pitch, maricon.
You should. I actually think no. John, who runs the garage, who doesn't have a Spanish accent. John is I've always thought John should be on the show.
No.
He's one of those guys. He's just like a New York guy who just doesn't give. He's like every guy, and I mean, he didn't say anything. He just made a joke about it, but he would, he would never let anybody off the hook for anything.
Of course.
So,
not.
that was the first thing. Driving in, I go, I wonder what John has to say.
Right.
And then he actually didn't say much. He just I think he said something like, "I missed the plate, huh?"
Yeah.
I said to Gary, dude, your only chance is I'll teach you how to call in sick. Or beg Benji to be late.
All right, here's the final question, because I know we got to take a break. Will this go away eventually, or is this one of those things that's just always going to be very, very prevalent on the show?
Always going to be very prevalent on the show.
All right.
Howard, do you realize that everyone from now on who's going to throw out the first pitch, people's advice is going to be, look, whatever you do, don't Delabate that pitch.
So that's what I told.
Delabate will become a word.
But that's what I told Mary.
It'll be a verb.
When Mary and I were arguing about this, and she's like, "Oh, get over it." I go, "You don't understand. I have now become like a benchmark."
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's like, "Whatever. You guys are such guys."
Hammer, go ahead. You have the last word, and then I got to take a break.
Go.
Hammer.
Hello, Howard.
Yeah.
You ever see that show Time Warp where they do slow motion? We got to get a slow motion of Baba Booey's face on Time Warp. You got to get a hold of these guys.
Well, Howard TV, quite frankly, is putting together a whole special with it because they have every angle of Gary's pitch, and they have angles you won't see on YouTube. As you can see this morning, they're very, very high quality angles.
Yeah, I mean, you know how you want to know how I first saw the pitch?
Yeah.
How I first saw it? So I had this obligation to go around to a bunch of things. So they have a Modell suite, which is in right field. There's like a chain link fence.
Right.
And you literally can look at the field. It's really cool. There was a guy there from Las Vegas who just got into town and heard me talking about it. Said, "Oh, buy a ticket and go." And he had like a digital camera, but it shoots video. And he was able to get a good shot of it. And when I saw it that time, I was like, oh, my God, it was so much worse than I even remembered it.
All right, Jeff the Drunk, there's Gary. There's another angle of Gary.
Wow.
There he is.
Got the ball.
Winding up. Hold on, Jeff. We'll get to you in a second.
Who directed this? Milos Forman?
Yeah, but Gary throws, goes nowhere, and ooh.
You know what? From that angle, you look like you can throw from that angle. It's worse from straight on.
Yeah,
But
well,
you know
there's
what?
multiple angles.
You know why Gary did a nice thing, though? Because the parents of autistic children, I never saw an autistic child before.
Yeah.
If anyone has a chance to give money, give it, because it's a serious issue. And these poor parents look so tired. You know what I mean? Like, they're always taking care of the kid.
Yeah.
But after Gary's pitch, all the autistic parents were smiling.
See, it was a good thing.
Yeah, like
You mean with the first joy they'd had in a long time?
I could see them chasing after their kid like they do all the time.
But you know what it reminds
making
me
sure
of?
the kids are right, and they were like, "That was great."
When Babe Ruth went to the hospital for that dying kid, and he said, "I'm going to hit it over," Like Gary was doing this for the autistic kids, and I think he let him down.
I do a joke in my act where I say, A-Rod wears number 13 because he wants to be like Babe Ruth, who was number 3.
Right.
And I said, before the playoffs last year, A-Rod went to a hospital and promised a dying kid that he'd ground out to second for him.
He came through.
And then he pointed to second base before he did.
You know, when Babe Ruth pointed, that's where Gary threw.
Jeff the Drunk.
Gary should have pointed to the dugout.
Jeff the Drunk, you have the last word.
Hey, Gary.
Oh, boy.
Yes, Jeff.
I just want to say I'm very, very sorry here. But I didn't expect nothing less of you.
Oh.
You throw like you throw like my ass looks.
Is that right, Jeff?
Yeah. I was watching it from my house that happens to be a Volkswagen bus. And I was embarrassed for Gary while I was waiting for my shipment of government cheese and weed.
You could throw better with your bad arm, can't you?
I could throw better with no arm. I could have thrown better with my ass.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Ralph. Thank everybody for trying.
I want to thank Gary. That was fantastic.
The best is Ralph's laugh in the background.
Yeah.
That's gonna be.
Well, I keep thinking all Gary cared about was if it reached the plate.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah, but nowhere near.
On eight hops.
Reach the plate in the stand.
Do you think less of Gary now?
I don't
As a
have
man?
any, like now when he talks about sports, I'll just think, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, anytime he says something about sports, you just go, go pitch again.
See, that's the problem with this is you lose. Like Chris Rock was one of my favorite comedians. I don't like him as much anymore.
Really? Because you saw the pitch?
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
But Gary likes.
I don't know. I don't think he's as funny.
All right. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, everyone. We have to take a break. Gary, thank you.
Gary, listen, man. This is why Gary's a great producer. He said, I said, Gary, they're asking me to go on the field. I won't go if you don't want me to. And Gary said, no, it's good for the show.
All right.
Just come down.
Your reaction is priceless.
And I love you, man, but, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
You got to do what you got to do.
My own fault.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after these words.
You missed one of my favorite first pitches, though, man. How about the Mets host these first pitch ceremonies? How about Gary Delabate, pop, pop, high, flop, flop, flunky? And
John Maine is like, get off my mound.
Lifted.
Oh.
Hey, both. Just completely yanked it. And he's a lifelong Met fan and a good dude, I understand. But we had to show it anyway. Sorry.
It's amazing. You get on that mound and the nerves creep in.
It's not easy.
No,
I'm not going to sit here and say it's a piece of cake. It ain't easy.
It's easier than that, though.
Yeah,
Come on.
Major League Baseball's 2013 American League Championship Series.
Talk anytime your opponent hits.
Yeah, that's...
And talk loudly.
Can't do that.
That's not written.
If you're in the gallery, you can yell, "You the man." Baba Booey.
Booey 25 continues next on Howard 101. See how one Gary goof-up changed prank call history.
911, what's your emergency?
Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Baba Booey. I'm saying Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
What does that mean, Baba Booey?
I don't know what it means. Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
This is Booey 25, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the name that became a movement.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey. Baba Booey. Baba Booey. And Baba Booey P.O. All weekend long on Howard 101.
Booey. Baba Booey. Baba Booey. Baba Booey.
9. Number 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 9.
Ba 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 booey. You look like a monkey. Your feet are crusty and obscene. Ba 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 booey. Your breath is funky. I saw it turn green on Howard TV.
It's on my nerves.
It's your tune, man.
Yeah, I know. So what? Good song. Can we get rid of it? Thank you. It's giving me a headache. How you doing, guys?
Hey now. What's up?
Hey. Gary's so annoying. Baba Booey. Got on my nerves today. I'm sitting here eating my breakfast at a record fast pace.
Yeah.
So, like, he comes over to put something in the CD player and he goes, ooh. I go, ooh, what? Ooh. I go, what's ooh? Oh, your egg smell. I'm like, well, just stay away from me when I'm eating my breakfast. I've asked you 5 billion times. Stay away. And now he's oohing.
He's oohing.
He's just vile. It's just annoying. I don't know. He just rubs me the wrong way some days. Like he comes over. I didn't ask him to come near me.
Right. And you certainly don't need people going ooh about your feet.
He goes, ooh. Like, dude, just stay away from me for 5 minutes while I eat breakfast.
The key is to not interact with you at all first thing in the morning.
Dude, I'm eating. Who needs to interact with you? Let me eat. Give me 2 minutes to eat my breakfast. It's got to be filled with your commentary?
It was, oh, my God, it was filled. It was,
yeah, but, dude, do I come over where you're eating and comment on what you're eating?
No,
really, honest to God.
You wouldn't deign to stop by.
No, I wouldn't. No. I wouldn't bother you.
I have to be here. I don't.
No, you don't. You don't have to walk over to me and comment on the smell of my breakfast.
I'm sorry.
Who needs connoisseur Gary?
Whatever.
Rant. Louis Baboubi. Booby.
You are such a baby.
Dude, why would you walk over and comment on a guy's breakfast? You're like a girl.
Boy,
that's what women do.
First of all, I've seen you sit there and the nose starts flailing away, and you go, "Who's eating? What's that disgusting smell? Whether it's Benji or what's Artie eating or what's Fred eating." You've done that 100 times,
Dude. I have to be in here. You
no, I
don't.
Gotcha. I do have to be in here.
You don't
too.
have to walk over to
But
me
wait
and
a
smell
second.
my breakfast.
Why do you just gloss over that? You said only a chick.
Because I am
Only
trapped
a
in
chick,
here.
Only a chick would smell somebody's breakfast.
Yeah,
Then
that's
you're
right.
A chick.
Only a guy who doesn't have to be here would come into this room, walk over next to me, and go, "Ew."
I went, "Whoa."
No,
it wasn't ew.
Just shut up and go and leave. Who needs you in here?
No, this is fun.
I don't want you in here till I'm done with my breakfast. New edict. When I'm done with my breakfast, you can come in.
Hey, I'm all good with that.
Good.
But if there's things that you didn't,
I
get
don't
that,
care.
Hold on.
I don't care. I don't want you near
If
me.
there's things that
You make me sick.
Let me just finish the sentence. If there's things that you don't get that
You make me
need,
ill.
Just understand.
You make
that
me ill.
That you didn't get them because you had to.
I don't care. Get it to me some other time.
It's fine. You might get it like.
Do I go ooh every time I look at you? Just go.
No,
go back to your cubby hole.
No, you play bo 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 booey, which is like saying ooh 20 times.
Oh, okay. Loon.
There's a loon in here.
Ooh. Oh yeah, I'm loony. I woke up to guys and started smelling their breakfast and commenting on it. Just leave if you don't like the smell. Same with clearing your throat. Just leave. Nobody wants to hear it.
I know. I feel like particularly cantankerous today.
Just you know what? You can feel all the things you want to feel, but feel them outside this room. That's what I want. Not interested.
I didn't ask you to be interested.
I'm just telling you, I'm not interested.
I'm not looking for your interest.
Good. Leave the room now. Okay. I want you out. Vile. Jesus. Ugh. Ew. Ew. Like, ew. I'm retarded. What's with that guy? Walk in. I'm trying to eat real quick. Giving me a running commentary. It's hard enough to eat sometimes in here. It's not exactly fun.
But Bubba is one of those people who he needs to comment.
Yeah, because he's a chatty chick.
He has to start talking.
He should just wear a dress. He's got to comment on everything. He's just so chatty.
Got to share.
Yeah, he's going to share his every thought. Just stay away. No one asked you to walk over to me.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, he came over to do a. He's Zagat.
Yeah.
He's Ted Zagat. He's doing a 5-star review over here. Let's have Gary eat breakfast in here every day, and we'll make comments while he eats.
Oh, dear.
See how he likes it.
I wouldn't care.
Yeah, oh, you would. Believe me.
You say that now.
Yeah.
Booey 25 presents What Does Baba Booey Mean to Me?
I'm John Lieberman. What does Baba Booey mean to me? To me, the term Baba Booey is simply iconic. When you think of Baba Booey, it's not just a person or a reference to a person. It is truly an icon. It is a term that is now part of our vernacular, part of our everyday language, from the PGA Tour all the way to daily life in New York City and all throughout the world. Baba Booey is an icon.
This is Booey 25 on Howard 101.
Hello?
You've got 30 seconds. Start now. You got 30 seconds. Go. Go.
Who is this?
Why don't you just say what you told me out there?
Who is this?
Yeah, go take another hairbrush in your ass.
What do you want?
You're the liar that goes to jail and gets a hairbrush in your ass.
What are you talking about?
I now look at you and see you for the human piece that you are.
Are you crazy? What are you talking about? Who you are?
Deny it, cocksucker.
Let me see this.
You
For what?
yourself.
This is another person, okay?
You little piece.
Hello?
Say it again one more time so I get a restraining order against you and you go in jail and get a hairbrush shoved in your ass by a big black guy.
Okay, kiss my ass and don't call to me anymore, okay? Have a nice...
Shut up. Who can stand you? Yeah, homo.
Hello?
You are a piece.
And who you are?
Cocksucking lying piece.
Okay, who you are?
You little piece.
Little or big?
You're the liar that goes to jail and gets a hairbrush in your ass.
Are you finished?
You!
Okay.
Off.
What I say? But you are crazy. You have to go to mental care. What I can tell you. That's all. Okay?
See, now that I'm offended by.
Okay.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh, you're joking? Okay.
The only way that a white person would f a black person was if they were drunk.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, good.
Which one of us has been to jail? Not me.
I am not going to jail too.
Oh, we're doing karaoke?
What?
Blackbird singing in the dead of the night.
Today is a joke morning, right?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Joking, right?
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
No? Okay, anyway.
Right.
Okay.
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 Right.
Have a nice day.
You.
And by the way, let me just mention before I go to break that, you know, a lot of people, this information comes to me through Gary Dell'Abate, Fafafuhai. And I have to defend Gary to a bit here. You know, Tim came to us and said that it was important for us to Twitter. Now, I am essentially not into Twittering. I recognize that people are, and that it might be, you know, according to Tim, it's a very important part of the media mix. We've got to be interactive. We've got to, you know, okay. So this is Tim's big push, and I'm fine with it. If you want to Twitter all you want. So I said, you know, to me, the real thrust of our morning has to be the radio show. Make the radio show good, not the Twitter. So Tim said, look, on the Twitter, and you understand what Twitter is, we send out a Twitter message, and people pick it up on their BlackBerries or their iPhones, and you get this little update that says this is what the guys are doing now. And this is essentially what Twitter is. And so I said, you know, okay, if you want to do that. I said, who's going to be on our Twitter but our fans? So what's the difference? They're listening. But what's the difference if I understand it? So I said to Gary, go on the Twitter. Tim wants you to do it. But don't put 10 seconds worth of energy into it. Either put down whoever the guest is, and that'll be it. And put it out there. And if anyone wants to follow along, they can. So we do the Twitter. Within 5 minutes, our fans are on Twitter. I don't know how many people are following the Twitter, like 40,000 people?
Yeah, I think we're at like 40 grand.
Something like that. 40 grand would refer to money. 40,000 people. Why would you say 40 grand?
I don't know. I don't
even understand why you say something.
Move ahead.
I'm trying. I'm really just distracted by you sometimes. 40 grand.
Everybody you're distracted
40 grand. You would refer to our listeners as 40?
Our mistake.
We don't know how you make those mistakes.
Luckily, I work for someone who doesn't make any.
40 grand. All right. So here I am defending him.
This is going to be tough.
You just so angry. You know
I'm
what?
not angry,
I'm on the
Gary.
bad end of what, like Benji started it. Now I'm getting under it.
Yeah, you're going to end up. See
See
that's
Benji?
So, like I said, we have 40 bushels of listeners on Twitter. Because they're like corn, our listeners. Oh, is that incorrect?
40 bales.
40 bales of listeners.
Sheaves.
40 sheaves of listeners. Yeah. We have 40 acres of listeners.
Kilowatts.
40 cases.
That wasn't even a little funny, Robin. 40 cases. I mean, you're going to crack a joke, be funny.
Crazy things.
I know, but everyone's was funny but yours.
40 grand.
40 grand.
Sheaves is funny. Cases is stupid.
All right.
News Radio St. Louis with news on computer hackers.
We're visiting with Vinny Troya. How easy is it to hack into a private business's stuff?
I'd say fairly easy. A lot of times there will be a very easy way in the door, whether that be weak passwords. You'd be surprised how many passwords you get that are Baba Booey 123 or just something really just simple.
Yeah.
Baba Booey 123.
Booey 25 continues next on Howard 101. See how one monkey misstep changed pop culture history.
I yelled Baba Booey at Walter Cronkite's funeral.
Baba Cluey was there. You gotta love Baba Cluey.
Baba Booey.
Shane, want to say hi to anyone? Yeah, my nephew Wesley and my pet monkey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
This is Booey 25, celebrating the 25th anniversary of the name that became a movement.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey. Baba Booey. Baba Booey. And Baba Booey P.O. All weekend long on Howard 101.
Good. Tim just came in. There was some big announcement from Sirius XM. Announces extraordinary new channel lineup.
What's that?
I think they, in an effort to make sense out of the company, they combined the best of Sirius and XM. And now all the, we had two rock channels or, so they would take one channel rather than have the two. They had one on XM and one on Sirius, so people at XM can get some of the good programming on Sirius and Sirius. I don't know.
Why don't you just tell me what the lineup is? I don't know what you're talking
I don't know either. It's a 7-page press release, and I don't know what any of it means.
Are you telling me you can now buy a different package?
No. It's, in other words, I don't know. I don't know.
There's some good there.
It's supposedly very good. Right. No, what it is like Bruce Springsteen's E Street Radio.
Can now be heard on XM?
Right. And for example, now you can hear Bob Dylan. I've always wanted to hear this Bob Dylan radio hour.
Which
XM
was on
had it,
XM.
and it used to really piss me off. What are you saying? XM?
XM.
No, say XM.
XM.
Why are
I'm
you
tired
saying
today.
What are you doing?
I'm tired.
XM. Sound like Gary. How about Gary goes, that's Reese's peanut butter cups. Reese's. You didn't hear him when he goes, Reese's.
But the guys here told me it was Reese's. I thought it was some weird way that they pronounced it for a product. I know it's Reese's.
No, you don't. You always say Reese's. You even said that when we had E.T. and that movie.
No, I did. It's Reese's.
You've always said Reese's.
You're a liar.
I'm not.
You're a liar. I dare you to produce the tape of me saying Reese's.
I will. You always say Reese's.
$100. $100.
$100 you're on.
$100.
I've heard him say Reese's a million times.
Let's make it $500.
I've heard you say it even in your personal life.
I don't say it's Reese's. Listen, it's my favorite candy. You think I don't know how to say it?
Well, you love Baba Booey.
No, you don't. Yeah, your favorite cartoon was Baba Louie, and you said Baba Booey, and your favorite candy is Reese's, and you said Reese's.
$500.
I think he's thinking Reese's monkey.
The Reese's?
Reese's monkey.
Somebody out there at the back, JD yelled that he says it's Reese's. So I thought maybe because they have some marketing thing or some licensing thing, they had to call it a different name.
Dude, everyone in here was laughing at you, even JD, because he never heard of Reese's either.
You can laugh all you want. I dare. $500 produce a tape of me ever saying it differently.
Yeah, I'll go searching through our archives looking because I need the $500 from you.
Why would you actually want to be proven wrong?
Yeah, why would Baba Louie be Baba Booey?
One is one and one is the other.
No, 1 and 1 is 2. And I'm telling you twice, you're dopey.
I want to point something out while I have the chance. All those
Reese's balls.
All those Klondikes that are in my freezer were not put in there by me. I have not eaten them.
Reese's balls. I want Reese's. Play him saying Reese's.
We didn't do this, I think, last time. I'm begging Fred out of the next commercial for scenes from an Italian Booey restaurant.
Where's the Reese's clip?
We did do it last time, Artie.
Oh, we did.
I did.
I love that. That's great.
Play it, guys.
Fred has to put it up the audio.
Fred, put up the audio.
You had the Reese's.
Play that again.
You had the Reese's. All I was doing was repeating what somebody in the office said.
Well, why don't you repeat any idiotic thing anyone says?
But dude, I would fess up to that.
Your breath smells like feces.
You.
Reese's.
Remember
both. You have Reese's.
Good morning, Dr. Ruth.
All right.
How are you this morning?
I'm early. I want to hear the Big Short talk a little bit.
You want to hear him?
Yes.
Right this way. I'll lead you.
All right.
I'll lead you to where you can do that.
Okay.
You see, some people walk through here and they seem intimidated.
For very few people would I get up at the crack of dawn.
Only for Howard.
Only for Howard.
You know,
For no other man.
Many people, right this way, Doctor. Many people, they come in here and they seem intimidated or scared. You seem full of life and completely unintimidated.
Certainly unintimidated.
You will go on the offensive this morning.
I brought him a keychain, Sex for Dummies. Here's Mark. Mark, come here. Here is the best playwright in the world.
Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
How are you?
Who just wrote a play, Dr. Ruth, All the Way. I want to hear Howard say that. All the way. And we are going to get some coffee and give me something to nibble at.
Yes, he's going to send somebody else.
Thank you. Thank you. Mark, what would you like? Coffee?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, this is Mark St. Germain.
Hi, brother.
The best playwright who wrote the play, Dr. Ruth, All the Way.
Dr. Ruth, what did you want? A croissant?
Yes.
Or a bagel? Or
A bagel with cream cheese would be wonderful.
bagel?
And a drink?
I have already.
So just a bagel with cream cheese. A plain bagel?
Plain bagel.
No sesame seeds, no poppy seeds?
No poppy seeds, no sesame.
Plain bagel with cream cheese.
Or if you have a croissant.
We'll get,
whatever.
I think the bagel will be easier.
Bagel, whatever is easiest. What would you like, Mark?
If there's a coffee around, but if not.
Yeah, coffee's easy. And a coffee will get.
So I'll let you get settled, Dr. Ruth.
All right.
Have fun with Howard today.
Yeah, tell him that I brought him a keychain, Sex for Dummies.
I think he needs that.
I thought so. I thought so. זה רוצה קוראים לו סינפנדל, אני חושבת.
כן, כן. אני אברר עם גרי, אין בעיה. Oh, you don't understand what we're saying? I didn't. That's because it's Hebrew. That's the secret language me and Dr. Ruth share. We go way back. We're from the motherland.
I go every year.
Yeah, yeah.
I was there this year.
פעם אחרונה שהייתי בן 12.
כן.
אני מת לחזור. תודה, תודה. ההורים.
בלי לשאול אם יש איזה כובע או משהו מהאוצר.
אני אשאל גרי. Gary, she wanted to know.
First of all, is the wine open?
No.
Will it be open?
No, we're not allowed to serve wine here, so we can talk about it.
That's okay, I'm speaking Hebrew.
Oh, sorry.
So we talk about it?
Yeah, you'll just talk about it.
Fine. Do you know if they have the red or which one?
I will find out.
And also,
hey, Gary, I just want to say good morning. Yeah. Hey, what's up? Good to see you here. I was looking for you.
Make sure that I sit on two.
I just put a second one in for you, and I have a third one, should you request it.
Wonderful.
It's all ready for you.
Oh, but one more thing.
Yes.
One glass of water next to me.
Can I give you a bottle of Poland Spring water? Is that okay?
But just open it.
I will.
Thank you.
Our dear friend Dr. Ruth is out there. God, haven't heard from her in years. She's requested several pillows to sit on so that she won't look too short and she can look me in the eye. And she was out in the hallway. She speaks 4 different languages. So she was out in the hallway speaking fluent Hebrew to Shuli.
But
I would have liked to.
To Shuli.
I love to hear that. I am admiring of anybody who can speak other languages. I think it shows a high sign of intelligence.
Well, everybody in Europe does it. They're no smarter than we are. It's
She in
a
the
matter of where you
she's
are.
swallowing the last chew of her bagel.
Oh, bagel. Wow. She is very Jewish. You know what I mean? Swallow up, my dear. Hey, bring in Shuli. I want to hear them talk Hebrew. I find that fascinating. God, I forget just how short Dr. Ruth is. Hi, Dr. Ruth. How are you?
She does look fine.
What are you on? You're on mic 1, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Ruth, you want to sit on some pillows?
What a question. I immediately asked for pillows so I can look into your good-looking face.
You know, you look.
I haven't seen you. Hi, Robin.
How long has it been?
Too long.
You're 84 years old. You look terrific. You really do.
Wait, first of all, say that again.
You're 84 years old and
Right?
you look terrific.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Dr.
You look
Ruth,
good too.
Can I hear you
Hi,
speak
Robin.
Hebrew to Shuli? I would love to hear that. I am so admiring of people who can speak multiple languages.
אוקיי, שולי.
שולי?
בוא נדבר עליו. בוא נגיד עליו שהוא צריך להיות מאוד בסדר איתי, כי הייתי בהגנה. Now, you know what I said?
I want to see if Shuli know what you said.
אני הבנתי מה שאמרת.
Okay.
You want me to translate?
No. Just let me hear you talk. Let me hear you talk. Talk to Dr. Ruth. Ask her a question.
את אוהבת להיות פה חזרה בסדרה? לא היית פה
בטח, איזו
הרבה
שאלה.
שנים.
כמה זמן שהוא לא לקח אותי כאן.
Wow.
So first of all,
שנים הוא לא לקח אותה.
First of all, I said, how come I haven't been here for so many years?
That's your fault, not mine. I would have had you on all the time. I mean, you...
Okay, next speak again.
You stayed away.
Howard, Robin?
I thought I'd offended you in some way.
You offending me?
I
Never.
didn't know. Let me say something to you in your native language.
That's beautiful, Howard.
Thank you very much. You speak 4 languages, right?
I speak German fluently. I speak French fluently. I speak Hebrew fluently. And I also speak a little bit of English.
Wow. That's
bad.
impressive.
Not bad.
When you, thanks, Julie. And that was impressive, by the way.
By the way, she said to you that you better be nice to her because she was a sniper in the military, in the Israeli army.
You know, I am fascinated by that. I really am fascinated by that. That you were a... Thanks, Julie. I was, you know, thinking about your life.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you're an upbeat person, but I do see your life as a very hard life and a very sad life.
Now, let me tell you something, Howard. Number one, there is a play about me which is coming to Off-Broadway. I'm going to invite you. It's called Dr. Ruth All the Way. I know you like that title.
You grew up in Israel?
Wait. The playwright is sitting right out here, Marc Saint-Germain. Now, here's what you and I will do. I'm going to answer a few of those questions. But as you now, look at the face on him.
Well,
Robin,
because you're funny. You know what? You have an interesting psychological move.
Yeah.
When I start to talk to you about your life,
yes,
you shy away and you take over the conversation.
But we know that already.
No, we don't know about it.
Robin, one time I told Howard. One time I told Howard I came to plug a book.
Right.
Today I came to plug what?
A wine.
Okay, I wanted to hear you say that.
Right.
What is the wine called in French?
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
What?
Vin d'amour. Say it.
Oh,
why
the
did
wine
you,
of love.
You've turned down endorsement deals before.
Yes.
Why did you choose a wine?
I'll tell you why.
Are you a drinker of wine?
Certainly not, but I'll tell you why.
You don't drink wine?
Why do you say certainly not? Why don't you drink wine?
Because if I would go out with you with permission of your wife, Beth,
right,
maybe I would drink a glass of wine, of my wine, Vin d'amour. But let me tell you something. That, Robin, listen carefully.
Okay.
I'm telling people, everybody's stressed. Everybody goes home, and I tell them, a couple, I tell them to drink a little bit of wine, not too much, because now watch Howard's face. If you drink too much, you can't perform.
That's true. Oh,
see, that is true.
Oh, that is true.
And
you fall asleep.
Robin, if a woman drinks too much, she falls asleep. So,
right.
Pierre,
not too much.
Not too
Dr.
much.
Ruth, why would you make a wine that most wine is 13% alcohol?
And this is 6%.
6% alcohol.
Yes.
That could be a turnoff to the wine drinking public. In other words, people like to get high off their wine.
Okay,
you understand
I
that.
want to do something else.
All right.
I want you to drink the Dr. Ruth Vin d'amour.
Right.
Which was the idea of Pierre, with whom I've been working for 30 years. First I said no, then I said it's a good idea. I want you to drink a little bit of that wine.
I will drink it.
And then I want you to make love to your wife. You know
no
that I'm
problem.
old-fashioned. Yeah, I'm old-fashioned and a square. Then, if you can't fall asleep because you think about your radio program and you think about your celebrity and all of the other things, then you can drink the other wine. Let her then go to sleep.
I see. But
First give her an orgasm, then she goes to sleep, then you can drink your wine.
All right. So now answer me about your life. Don't shy away, because I'm kind of fascinated by you. But
When
it's very
you
hard
and
to break your persona.
I know.
You are a woman who,
Don't analyze me.
Okay, fair enough.
Everybody knows that. But
Is it too painful to talk about your life when you dwell
Howard,
on it?
if you shut up for one moment, then
you never let me.
Haven't shut up,
You
Dr.
haven't
Ruth.
shut up, Dr. Ruth. All you've done is plug, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay if you plug.
Robin, help me, Robin.
But
now,
I'm trying to really delve into your life somewhat because I'm fascinated.
You know that, Howard. If you and I, with permission of your wife,
yes,
can go out for a drink, I'll drink the Vin d'amour, you drink whatever you like to drink. Maybe Because I do like you, you know that. Maybe I would talk a little bit about my life.
Why not?
What is the big deal?
Right.
But you come on a show.
I like to talk about sex.
Right. But you
I
don't.
like to talk about the wine.
You don't like talking about sex. Because I've asked you about your sex life in depth.
Oh, I would never answer you about my sex
That's what
life.
I mean. You're a very guarded woman.
You're right, but look what I'm doing. I'm doing films that are going on PBS. Brand new yesterday on the Czech.
Did you grow up in Israel?
I grew up. Now, I give you in a nutshell.
Okay.
I was born in 1928 in Frankfurt am Main.
Germany?
In Germany, and lived in the house of 2 loving parents and a grandmother. Then, I went to Jewish school.
Right.
Then in I was born 1928.
Yes.
And in 1939, as you know, there were black clouds on the horizon.
Right.
I was very fortunate. I was with a group of children who were sent to Switzerland. Other children were sent to England.
Without your parents?
Without my parents, without
so
anybody.
your father read the tea leaves, so to speak. He understood that the Germans the country was turning ugly, Hitler was coming to power, and they had to find a way to get you out of the country safely.
No. There was... I will tell you that in a nutshell. There was a conference in Evian in France that said, let's save German Jewry. The conference failed miserably. Nobody wanted to take the German Jews. My father already was taken to a labor camp, not concentration camp. Then he said, I was an only child.
Do you remember your father?
I remember him very well.
How old were you when you were separated?
10 and a half.
10 and a half.
Yeah. So I didn't want to leave because I was with a mother and a grandmother. My father wrote that he could come back to Frankfurt from the labor camp. There was no concentration camp yet.
Right.
If I would join that group to Switzerland. So I had no choice. Now,
did your father have a business in Germany?
He had a small business, not well going.
And one day they marched in and said, you are no longer going to live with your family. We're going to take you to a labor camp.
Right.
And they just ripped him out from his family and took him away from your house.
Okay, now.
You saw that.
Howard, I did see that. I give you 1 more minute. Be quiet.
Okay.
About that, I went to Switzerland. The children's home became an orphanage because all of the parents of those 100 children who were in the orphanage were killed in concentration camp. That's all I told about it.
Your mother was eventually taken out of the home as well.
And the grandmother, my father, came back to Frankfurt. They were all taken out.
And put in a concentration camp.
Now, that's all I know about it, and that's all I want to talk about it. Now,
because it's too painful to continue talking about. I'm almost in tears from it.
Pardon?
I said I'm almost in tears from it.
I like that. You should be in tears.
Well, I mean, it's an awful story for a little girl to lose her family like that.
Howard.
Were you told? I'm curious. Were you, if it's not too painful, were you told when you were living in Switzerland your parents had been wiped out?
No.
No one came to you and said that?
No.
Because back then they didn't believe in telling kids bad things.
No, they didn't know. Until towards the end of the war. Now let's talk about the Haganah.
So you lived in a fear of not knowing.
At the end of the war, how did you find out that your parents and your grandmother were gone?
Because lists came of people who survived, and lists came out of people who did not survive. Now let me talk about Israel.
How old were you when you... before you go to Israel, how old were you?
17 when I went to then Palestine. Now I tell you about the Haganah.
Wait, so you were living in Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
End of the war comes, you get this list, you find out your entire family is wiped out.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
No, I was an only child. Robin, if you both would listen, then you would
We're asking you a question, though.
One more question.
Okay.
And then I'll talk.
So the war is over. You see that your parents have been wiped out. Do you become bitter? I mean, do you say, I'm going to move to Israel and fight for this new cause?
Yes.
That was your motivation.
But my motivation was, this is something terrible. I survived while 1 million, you know all that, 1.5 million children were killed.
Right.
I have to do something to make the world a better world. Jews need a country of their own.
Right.
And I went to then Palestine. Now I tell you about the Haganah. And I was a sniper. Be careful, Howard.
So you go to Israel.
Still do it.
1 second. You go to Israel.
Yeah.
You're
it wasn't Israel yet.
Right,
Howard.
it was Palestine.
Right.
You were 17 years old.
I go to kibbutz.
And were you shocked that they were willing to allow you to become a military person? Because
No,
back then,
I volunteered. What do you mean shocked?
Because back then women weren't chosen to be snipers.
No, in Palestine at the time they needed everybody. Even you would have been in the Israeli, then it became Israel, as you know, in May 48. Everybody was a member. Robin would have been a member. You would have been a member. It wasn't an act of heroism.
Did it pain you to leave Israel eventually because this is something you...
Wait, I went to study in Paris.
Right.
Fortunately for me, I went to the Sorbonne.
Right.
I always thought I'm going back to Israel.
Right.
Then I married Fred Westheimer, who actually, he passed away 14 years ago. He actually liked you.
Fred Westheimer.
You don't like Howard?
But Fred Westheimer and you got divorced, didn't you?
No. Don't you say something like that.
Why did you say that? Weren't you married 3 times?
Yes, but Fred Westheimer was married almost 40 years.
Oh, and then he died.
And then he died.
I
so,
see.
Fred actually liked you. He listened
doesn't
to you.
like you.
Robin, Fred Westheimer
Can you believe
like
you
him.
married a guy who liked me?
Difficult to believe.
Is it true when you served in the Israeli army? You say that you never had
I was badly wounded. I
know.
will tell you that. I was badly wounded. That's not why I'm short. You said I'm 4'8".
Yes.
Not true, 4'7".
I didn't know that.
And I'm not shrinking. Because if I shrink,
You'll
I will
disappear.
need 5 kilos.
But Dr. Ruth, in all seriousness, you had a horrible thing happen to you in Israel. Your foot was blown off, half of your foot.
You did your homework.
No, I know about
now
you.
Let's talk
injury?
toe, and I can dance when I find.
What was blown off?
Friday
Just your
night.
toe?
No, the top of the foot. Howard.
Wow. Let me see it.
Over my dead body.
Why? Are you embarrassed?
I told you, you asked your wife, I will go for dinner with you. I told
And
you
she'll
that
take off her
already
shoe.
10 years ago.
Dr. Ruth,
You
as a
never
woman,
took me up on
listen,
it.
a woman's appearance is very important. You know, when you're a young lady and you
What
want
do I look like? Here,
you
I'm standing up.
No, you look great. Oh, you're standing now? Doc, you know I'm taller
I did
than
that
you.
purposely. I knew that you would say
Taller
that.
than
Did your height? Did your height bother you when you were younger?
When I was 18, 19, I thought nobody would marry me. I know better. I was married, I told you, with Fred Westheimer.
3
almost
times
40.
you were married, yeah.
2 times before, some wonderful love affairs that I legalized.
So men were attracted to you despite your short stature.
Yes, I think they were attracted to my talking, and I did not talk about sex.
Did people think you were a little person? Did they ever mistake you for a little person?
Like a little person, like a
midget type?
No, only Howard Stern.
No.
Robin.
So you're a young woman. When half of your foot is, you claim that you've never, as a sniper, killed someone.
That's true.
Do you say that because a lot of soldiers who have seen action?
I heard you say that. No, I really didn't, and I want to tell you something, Howard. Listen carefully.
Right.
I was in the Haganah, in the underground. Then that became the Israel Defense Forces.
Right.
And I was there for a very short period of time.
Right. How many years did you serve?
I was there for 2 months.
Oh.
Because Israel was declared in May.
Right.
We were all very well trained. I know how to throw hand grenades. Be careful with me.
Do you really?
Yes, I do. And
do you own guns now?
God forbid.
Why do you say God forbid?
Because I don't think anybody should have a gun, except if you are in the military. Listen.
How long does it take to learn to shoot a gun on a sniper level?
Very fast. I for some reason was very talented in it.
Is that
I think I don't know why.
In other words, from how many feet away?
From here, I could shoot over there, but I'm not going to shoot.
And you could take out a guy, and in practice drills, you would practice on targets.
I would have to say, bend down, because you are too tall to shoot.
As a sniper, do you think Kennedy was killed by one person?
I do not know.
Do you ever look at that kind of thing as a sniper? You must be kind of interested in it.
No, not really. Look,
were you in firefights? Did you actually?
No, I was just wounded at the residence of young girls. Who
they lit off a bomb?
On my birthday, on my 20th birthday.
They lit off a bomb?
Yeah, a cannonball exploded in the lobby of that residence of young women. Some people died next to me.
Friends of yours?
I knew them.
Wow.
And,
wow.
And and I was badly wounded. So that was the end of my military
When you wake
career.
up, did you pass out when the cannonball hit? I mean,
No.
Is it shocking or
No,
are you in
I
pain?
just asked a friend. It wasn't pain. I asked a friend, "Do I have to die?" That's all. Now listen.
Well, hold, stop! Don't blow by that. That's heavy.
Let's go back.
You weren't unconscious. You stayed conscious through the attack.
Yes.
You look down. Your foot probably hurt. You look down and you see half your foot missing.
No, I just saw blood.
Did you
And I
freak
went to
out?
the
Did you
hospital.
cry?
No, I just thought maybe I did ask somebody, "Do I have to die?" So,
Wow.
Can we talk about the wine, please?
Isn't that an We will. But isn't that an interesting question? Do I have to die?
Right.
Because you've seen so much death, it's almost like you have a choice.
Now, Howard, we want to talk about two things. One is the wine, and the other thing is...
You don't think we're going to... We're talking about the Holocaust and your foot getting blown off, and all you can think about is that dumb wine.
I came here
Stop
because
it.
I have to plug the
Yes,
wine.
we're going to get to it.
Them.
But you see, you're talking about something so difficult, something so personal. To jump to wine almost seems like the best defense mechanism in the world. That I'm getting to something real in Dr. Ruth's life.
Yes.
And then suddenly you go to the
So
wine.
you did already. I gave you whatever I wanted to give you.
No, but I want to know when your
but you
foot
can't
is...
transition so quickly.
The other night, I was complaining about a hangnail forever. You would think I was the biggest baby. I mean, you had half your...
Men are complaining more than women.
But did you think it was the end of your dating world then? Not only are you short, but like half my foot's missing. Were you embarrassed when you went out with Fred Westheimer and when he saw it for the first time?
No, because by that time it was healed. You know... Because you do your homework that I did. I was a super good skier.
But is it difficult to learn how to walk after half your foot is blown off?
It takes a little while. It takes some determination.
Were the bones affected, or was it just a surface kind of thing?
Just the surface.
What do you mean just the surface?
Oh,
Half your foot's gone, no?
Can we talk about the
she
wine?
said the top.
Oh, just the top of half your foot.
Just the top.
Stop with the wine. We're going to get
I just want to see the wine. Can you see it?
What do you mean see the wine? How do I have the wine? I don't have it.
They told me that you're having the Van d'Amour. One is a Zinfandel, a rosé.
What do you think? You're going to make $1 million with this wine? You're on fire with this wine. Vin d'Amour. Here.
No, you have to say it better.
Vin d'Amour.
Robin says it better than you. Robin, say it again.
Vin d'Amour.
No, not Vin.
What do you think your parents would think if they knew you lived in America?
Yeah.
Not only are you a celebrity, but you've had a great career, that you have your own wine, Vin d'Amour. I mean, what do you think your mother and father would you ever?
No, they would not believe it because they wouldn't believe that I would go on a program with Howard Stern. They wouldn't believe that I talk about orgasms and erections.
But isn't it amazing? Do you dream of them when you were? Do you ever?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. No. But there was a time you did, right?
But I think of them every day. Now I have to tell you something. You know who
Tough
Nate?
life.
Wait. Do you know who Nate Berkoff is?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Nate Berkus.
Nate Berkus?
Not Berkus, Berkoff.
No, she said Berkoff, but I think she means Nate Berkus.
Berkus, you're right.
Oh, Berkus.
Hey, did you go to Did you go to Arnold Schwarzenegger's book party yesterday?
I certainly did.
What do you make as a trained person?
Oh, now he's coming with.
No, we got to ask this,
curious.
Dr. Ruth, because you're an expert.
I tell you what.
Go ahead.
Only in America can somebody like Arnold Schwarzenegger from a little village in Austria rise to that stardom, be the governor of the greatest state
California
in the country, and he gave an excellent talk yesterday. And the main thing that is of importance to me is that he said only in America.
Do you think he's a sociopath?
Pardon?
Do you think he's a sociopath?
I'm not a psychiatrist, and I don't give labels.
Do you think he's a narcissist?
But what do you think of that whole thing with Maria?
I don't comment on that because because I'm not an investigative journalist.
But isn't that a sexual sort of thing? Like, can I be honest for a second? And I'm not doing this to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
When we
I don't believe you when
I'm
you
telling
say
you,
that.
when we saw the pictures of the maid that he had sex with. Hold it, listen to me.
Yeah. How did you know that I was there last night?
I have my sources. I follow you around.
Oh my gosh!
I have the.
You follow me around day and night,
day and night.
We know everything.
Do
that
you know
do.
that I'm out every night? It's wonderful. If you have,
why?
Listen,
are you afraid to be alone?
No. If you have,
is it hard for you to be alone?
No. I want to talk about Nate, but I want to tell you something.
I want to talk about your life.
So I tell you one thing. If somebody like me has to be a widow, I don't wish it on anybody.
Are you lonely?
New York, of course. New York is the best place in the world. I'm out every night.
May I ask you, since you're interested in sex, do you masturbate still?
Forget masturbation. Does she have sex partners?
Yeah, because women, you are a big advocate of the elderly, the older population. In fact, you teach courses in this. You're teaching a course now.
And I'm now going to. I taught at Yale and at Princeton for 6 years.
Does it
now
aggravate you
teach at Columbia Teachers College?
Does it aggravate you is it aggravating to you that people think that a woman 84 doesn't have sexual desire? Is it aggravate you
I'm telling them that they are wrong.
You do have sexual desire.
Yeah, but I don't talk about your or my sex life. Robin,
Let's
I don't
talk
even
about it.
talk about, no.
What do you use? Do you use a vibrator or a banana? What do you use?
A banana.
I talk about it. That's
Imagine
all.
Dr. Ruth with a banana. Good Lord. No, I knew you were at the Arnold Schwarzenegger party because you tweeted it.
I said, that's why you knew it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But do you write your own
tweet
tweets?
something and then say, how do you know it?
I don't think you write your own tweets.
You're right. I talk and Pierre writes it.
Right.
Pierre is the same guy who is my Minister of Communications.
Right.
Who said I should do the wine. I said no. Then I said yes.
You have advisors.
I have here Marc Saint-Germain. I first said not to write a play about me. Now it's the biggest success up in the Berkshires in Pittsfield.
Oh, wonderful.
I tell you who's playing me, Robin. She's about your size. Her name is Deborah Jo Rapp.
Never heard of her.
Yes, you did, because
I did?
she plays the mother on the 70s show. She's fabulous. She learned my accent.
Does Pierre ever pleasure you, or is that your partner?
No, Pierre has a wife.
Oh, he does. All right.
Pierre is Catholic, and he has a wife. And he has 2 children.
You would never date a Catholic man?
And he has not a married one.
Would you date a man who isn't Jewish?
Of course, but not a married one.
Would you marry a non-Jew?
I
Be
don't
honest.
know. I don't know.
You wouldn't, because you
Probably
listen.
not. I'm very Jewish.
Right.
Probably
Are you?
not.
You keep a kosher house?
I don't keep a kosher house, but I know all about it. I belong to 2 synagogues.
Did you go to temple on Yom Kippur?
I certainly did. All
Did you
day.
fast?
I certainly did. Did you?
Do you ever? No.
Did you?
No. I'm not
How
religious. I'm not religious.
So you did? You didn't go to synagogue?
No. Do you ever? Do you?
Let's talk about
when you go
marriage
to
for
temple.
1 moment.
But 1 second. When you go to temple, do you ever? I don't want to say curse out God, but do you ever say, God, why did you do this to my family?
No, because
why
it's
did you allow?
no answer. Now, Howard.
What do you mean there's no answer?
God doesn't answer.
There's no answer.
Do you believe there's a guy up in the sky who listens to you?
Yes.
You really do?
Yes.
He lives up
even
in the
told
sky.
me.
Why does he have to be in the sky?
What did he tell
told
you?
me to go on Howard Stern. He said Howard will be very
No, but
nice.
isn't it hard to
He'll
believe?
plug your wine.
Isn't it hard to believe in God when God
It's a good
has
question.
forsaken
I don't
you?
have an answer. Howard, let's talk for
Why
one
are you
moment
so
about
uncomfortable about this? You're so uncomfortable. I mean, I understand why you're uncomfortable, but have you ever seen a psychiatrist?
Did I ever say something?
Yeah. Have you ever got?
God forbid.
Why?
Why did you not want to do that?
I go
Did you?
3 and 4 days a week.
How can you do that if you are here at 5 o'clock in the morning?
I make a point of it because it's important to me. I need to get help.
I don't believe that. Robin? Robin,
Dr.
is that
Ruth.
He's
true?
telling the truth.
Why,
He's telling the truth.
You know that you listen. Even in my
There must
short
be some things
even
that
in
you
my
just
short
have.
one second, even in my short conversation with you right now, I see tremendous avoidance, and I understand it. It's your defense mechanism. It's the way you get through the day.
So go on to another topic.
But don't you think when you go to temple, you could be angry? Don't you think this
You just
anger?
asked me and
You've
I
never
said
dealt
no.
with your anger.
No.
Are you angry?
If we have dinner together, I might tell you about that.
How do you
I
feel
don't-
about what's going on in Israel now? That it seems like the world has turned its back on Israel. Does that pain you?
I go to Israel every single year, and I do give lectures, and I go to the president's conference, and I'm very worried about Israel. There's no question. Period.
Do you
I'm not
think
a politician, and I don't discuss politics.
Do you think the world has really changed since your parents were wiped out? It seems like the same characters
The
are up to the
same
same
deal,
bullshit
yeah.
where they want to wipe out the Jews.
That's
right?
one guy. Look what he did. I was at a big event at the Waldorf Astoria, and the president of Canada got an award, and look how he stands up to some of those bad guys, and that's what we need more. We need more people.
Do you think Obama's doing
influential.
enough? Do you think he's turned his back on Israel?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Will
I
you
don't
vote
talk
for
about
Romney or
politics.
Obama?
I'm voting, but I don't deal in politics.
I think you're
Anybody-
voting for Obama.
anybody look at the face.
Who are
of
you
me.
voting for?
Robin.
Endorse someone right now.
Robin.
Why you're not afraid to stand up for anything? You won't say who you're voting
I'm
for?
a Democrat. But I don't participate in any political rally.
Right.
Because somebody who talks about sex from morning till night and writes books and goes on Howard Stern.
But if you had a
should
chance
stay
to meet
away.
with the President of the United States, wouldn't you say to him, Mr. President, with all due respect,
very
I'm a woman who had gone through hell. My parents died in the Holocaust. I went to Israel. I fought for the country. I think you should meet with the President of Israel. I think that you should do more
I
for
wouldn't
Israel.
interfere in politics, but I would say that I'm very concerned. That's true.
That's it.
That's it.
That's what you would
But
say.
I am not doing anything in politics. Can we talk one
Do
moment
you
about
think
Nate?
Israel will have to blow up Iran and will have to
I can't
stop their
tell you that.
nuclear reactors?
I can't tell you
What would
that.
you
I'm
tell them to
worried.
do?
I'm worried.
You are worried.
Yes.
Do you think Israel
Are you
should
worried?
attack
Are
Iran?
you worried about it?
Yes.
And?
I
Are
think,
you worried?
I think Israel's alone in the world.
Robin?
I think that somebody's asking for a nuking. That's what I think.
Right.
I think there are
Okay,
people
I
in the
want
Would
world
you be
right now
against the
asking to be
nuking of...
nuked.
Robin brings it up.
Okay,
Are you
now,
against the
Robin-
nuking of Iran?
I can't say that.
Would you want
because
to see Iran nuked?
No, I would like this. I would like this man to come to his senses.
He's not coming
and
to his
stop-
senses.
and
They
stop
hate
talking.
Israel.
He
They
doesn't
hate the
have
Jews.
senses.
And I
What
would
do you
like
want
the
to do?
United Nations not to give him a platform. That much I can tell you.
Well, they got to give everybody one.
Because I believed in 48. I believe that the United Nations is going to take care that there will never be another war. That much I tell you.
So you're
I
for the
agree.
United Nations.
Now, right. Can I
But there've been
finish my
plenty
thought
of
about
wars.
NATO?
Does it bother you that the Republicans want to take away contraception and help for contraception?
Yes.
It does, right? Because
Yes.
what is it? You know, people make fun of me, Dr. Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
When I have sex with my wife, I don't want to have more children. She doesn't want to have children. I use a condom.
Mm-hmm.
And people think, I can't tell you how many people walk in and go, you use condoms?
With your wife.
With your
That's what they say.
wife? And I'm like, well, what are you supposed to do? I mean, I don't want her to be on the pill. I don't think the pill is good for a woman. You agree?
I think that's very responsible of you.
Right.
Listen carefully.
Yes.
I applaud you.
Thank you.
Anybody who
Finally.
doesn't want to have more children, and if there's no other contraceptive that they would like to use, should use a condom.
Doesn't bother me.
And I'm telling you something else.
Go ahead.
For you. Robin, listen.
Okay.
Howard, a man, I'm not saying you necessarily, because
Right.
I'm so careful. A man should actually place the condom. The woman should place the condom on his erect penis as part of foreplay.
It should be part
make
of the
it-
lovemaking.
Part of lovemaking.
Why do you say that? Because
It's pleasurable, and they're both responsible for not wanting to have another child.
Right.
I applaud you for that.
because everybody makes fun of me for that.
Does Beth place the condom?
They make fun.
No, I whip the thing on because I want to just get it on me. You know what I'm saying? Do you think you were never against anal sex if both couples enjoy it, right?
That's true.
Right, anal sex. Okay.
If they both like it.
This came up on our show recently. Sex topic. Ronnie, the limo driver who works here.
Why'd you give his name?
Well, because we talked about it.
He already
on the air.
said this.
He already
Yeah.
said this. He talks about, and this is crazy. He enjoys when a woman puts her tongue in his behind, and he does the same to a woman as part of foreplay. I feel it's gross in a sense. I mean, no
None
one's.
of your business. If they both like it,
Is it dangerous though? E. coli back there, right?
I don't. If they're both clean, they're fine.
Really, rimming is okay.
Whatever, if they both like it, not against her wishes.
No. He's
You know
not.
that-
He's not raping them.
You know what it says in the tradition?
I don't
in
think.
the Jewish tradition, it says, listen,
Go ahead.
a man can do with his wife as he pleases, but not against her wishes. See, the sages were very smart. I did a book on that called Heavenly Sexuality in the Jewish Tradition. Anything that two consenting adults do, I have no problem.
Right.
I just have a problem if you insist of doing something.
That she doesn't want to do. Right.
So you do understand.
No, I understand. And it's funny, I watched Arnold Schwarzenegger on 60 Minutes. Did you watch the interview?
No.
My mother even.
Not yet.
Everyone is talking about it. My mother called me up. She goes, "Can you believe Arnold Schwarzenegger?" He came off poorly because when he was saying this is the worst thing he could have done to his family, he was smiling, almost as if
it
didn't look so bad.
Howard, look.
And by the way, isn't it amazing?
Only in America.
The son of a Nazi and a woman whose parents were killed in the Holocaust can be friends here in America.
You were at his book party.
Okay, and I was at his book party because he's not responsible.
No, I understand. I'm just saying. It
the
shows
sins
you.
of his fathers.
That's right.
But I tell you something, that he spoke eloquently.
I like the guy.
As long as you're not married to him, he's probably a great guy.
Right. Why weren't you there with me?
I don't go anywhere. You go to that stuff.
I go to everything.
I don't know. I mean, I just would feel awkward. Like, what did you do? Like, you stand around while he's signing books?
No,
and look at the two of them together.
Yeah. It must have been funny.
Look, next time I go to any of those parties, I call you and you come with me.
I don't know.
But you can't go to parties because you have to be here at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I have no life. Dr. Ruth's wine is called Vindemore.
Vandamour.
Vandamour. It is in stores now. You can go to chateaud.com. Chateaud.com.
Chateau Diane.
And check out Dr. Ruth at drruth.com and on Twitter at askdrruth.com. The Twitter is an amazing thing, right? It allows you access.
60,000 people now. I want you to give me some of your people, too.
Okay. Well, I'm sure they'll all sign up. What do you do? But do you give advice? Do you give sex advice?
I do some sex advice. I talk, and Pierre puts it on the Twitter.
You know, I'm not saying this to be funny, but Robin said...
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Dr. Ruth had died. Like, you've kind of disappeared from the scene.
Why? I have never disappeared.
Now you have. You used to be on TV more.
I was
just to be everywhere.
What do you think? What do you think? Talk about TV doctors for a second.
I'm teaching at 2 universities. I'm teaching
now
at Columbia.
You used to be on the talk
radio.
shows all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
I go on the doctor's show. I was on the Today Show. I'm going to be on Joy Behar next week.
Okay.
Why do you say that I died?
I don't. But it used to be more.
That really makes me.
You were more part of the public discourse. You know what I'm saying? And what do you think of this guy? Like for example, Dr. Phil. I have a beef with him, and
I have no beef with him.
But he presents himself that he's a psychologist. He doesn't even have a degree in psychology.
No, but everybody listens to him.
But what about Dr. Drew? Do you think doctors should be on TV treating drug addicts? Dr. Drew.
I don't think that you can actually. On a serious note, are you listening seriously?
Yes.
You cannot do sex therapy on the air.
Right.
And you can't do any other therapy on the air.
I agree.
All you can do is to give good advice and at the same time be entertaining like you are, Howard.
So you're coming out against
Robin.
Dr. Drew. This is very controversial. I can't believe
I've never met him.
I can't believe you just came out against Dr. Drew.
Can I
glad you
please
did that.
plug, Robin? I need to plug one more thing.
Are you a multimillionaire? Are you very well set financially for life? I mean, no one has to worry about Dr. Drew.
If you need money, I can pay for 3 meals at the McDonald's for you.
No, but
for Robin.
Would you say you made a lot of money in the business? Did you think that
more than I ever dreamed? And I had Nate do my apartment, and now he's coming out with a book. And I did a chapter in the book on people who collect.
What I heard is you have an incredibly.
Howard, will you come?
This strikes me as very strange. You seem like such a together woman, and yet your apartment was gross. I mean, it was
not really gross. It was stuffed with stuff.
Are you a hoarder? Are you a hoarder?
I'm not really a hoarder, but I collect turtles. Do you know why?
Why?
Because a turtle, if it is sitting here on your desk, it's safe. Nothing can happen. It carries its house on its back. If that turtle wants to move, it has to take a risk, like you did your whole life with your radio program. It has to stick its neck out. It could get hurt, but it doesn't move unless it takes a risk. So I have a lot of little turtles.
The turtle inspires you.
Yes.
You don't have real live turtles. They're
God forbid.
Right. They're just you don't want to take. Do you take care of anything? Do you have any pets?
No, never.
Why never children? Do you have children?
I have the best.
Oh, you do?
How come you don't know
you
that I have a son?
Hide them away.
Children?
I have a son and a daughter, and I have 4 gorgeous grandchildren.
Where is your son now?
My son is a professor at the University of Ottawa. His wife is a professor at the University of Carleton.
Because everyone...
My daughter is a doctor in education. My son-in-law has an MBA. 4 grandchildren. Howard, seriously?
Were you a fearful woman raising them? When you raised your children, were you afraid to even send... I mean, you're a woman who has seen monstrous things in the world. Were you afraid to send them out the door when they were children?
No.
You were not?
No, but I was always... I was a very good Jewish mother. I was a little, always worried, but not afraid.
You didn't put your fears into them?
No.
Because you have to be a fearful woman. You have to be afraid of what's out there. You must have woken up every morning and said, I hope my children don't die, that they don't... I mean, you must have been filled... No. Did you tell them about the Holocaust? Did you tell them what happened?
They know.
What age did you tell them?
They knew when they started to know how come they don't have a grandmother.
I see.
On a serious note.
But isn't that a tough thing, whether you should tell them or not? Because it makes the world a scary place for them. It's almost like telling them a nightmare story.
You have to know a little bit of going without scaring, but telling the truth. My children didn't have grandparents until I married Fred, who had parents. They didn't have grandparents on my side. That's true. Also because I was an only child, they didn't have uncles and aunts on my side. Fred was an only son.
You must have been.
So they didn't have.
You must have been a crackerjack in bed with how you feel about sex and pleasing a man. I mean, you must have been one fun broad in bed, right? I mean,
Robin,
really.
what should I answer to him? The answer is yes.
It is.
Okay, are you happy now?
Anything. Fred wanted a blowjob. You were right there on the spot, right?
Can I go now?
Did you ever tell Fred, listen, no blowjob? Did you ever punish him with sex by saying no?
No, you wouldn't do that.
No, I would never do that.
When you were at the height of your sexuality with Fred, was a strap-on off limits?
Howard, I want Robin to say.
All right.
Robin,
listen, Dr. Ruth Moine.
I want to make sure you'll plug the wine.
All right, Vandermoor.
Robin, I want to make sure that you tell people that I did not die.
Yeah. Dr. Ruth is alive.
You are very much alive.
Okay.
Do you worry about death? Seriously, you're now an older woman. You're 84 years old.
I'm not worried.
Do you ever sit and go, I probably have another year or two left?
No, I have friends who are 101. I'm going to be 101.
But even if you're 100...
I'll be on your program.
You will do it.
On my 100th birthday, I'm coming. Say Vandermoor.
Vandermoor. When you're 100 years old, will you push for plugs as hard, do you think, or will you be out of energy?
No, I will push as hard.
Do you still exercise? Every day?
My mouth.
Yeah,
That's
I see. All right. Let me
but
tell
what about Nate Berkus? What was that all about?
Okay, he came and he did my whole apartment.
Right.
And in 3 days, my apartment in Washington Heights, overlooking the Hudson and the George Washington Bridge, looks like an apartment on 5th Avenue.
You love it.
And I love it. And I'm staying there
He's a talented decorator.
And he is a superb, talented decorator. He's a very smart, wonderful friend.
Sounds like you got a free apartment job for the plug. Yeah.
And not only that,
you got all the angles.
I have a new best friend.
Who's that?
Want you to come with me to his book party because there's a chapter on me.
Oh, Nate Berkus.
Oh, Robin, you and Howard will come to the book
Leon's
party.
on the phone. He wants to speak French to you to see if you really know French.
Leon?
Go ahead, Leon, real quick. Speak French to Dr. Ruth.
Well, I had to take myself, so I had to get by the best way I can.
Answer him in French, if you don't mind.
Je crois que je n'ai pas compris qu'est-ce qu'il a dit.
And say
Il
that.
faut le dire encore une fois, et peut-être vous allez me chanter une chanson en français.
Leon, answer her.
I'm going to make my wife quite cool.
All right, very nice, very good. His French is good, is it not? What do you think?
I said to him, sing me a song in French.
Leon, answer Dr. Ruth, please.
Be my own sister.
All right, impressive. Our audience is bilingual. Very nice.
Tell you everybody to drink the wine.
Everyone drink Vandermoor.
Now you said it nicely.
For more information, go to chateaud.com.
Chateau Diane.
Why are you saying D and it's Diane?
It's chateaud.com.
Maybe. Okay.
All right, okay. And check out Dr. Ruth at drruth.com and on Twitter at Ask Dr. Ruth. Great seeing you. I'm glad you are alive.
Don't wait another year to get me back.
All right, Dr. Ruth. Thank you. We'll be back
You're
right
the only man that I'm willing to get up at 6 in the morning to be here on your program.
You're turned on by me.
The only man in the world.
You're attracted to me. That's why.
Okay, we'll have dinner. With permission of your wife. Bye, Robin.
You think my wife will be jealous if I go out with you?
No.
Who knows what
she's going to take you for a ride.
I'm going to pay.
You're going to pay?
Yes. I'll take you for dinner.
Yeah.
Written permission of Beth.
Nobody ever pays for me. I would take you up on that. I would like that.
Okay.
All right. Except Robin pays sometimes. All right, Dr. Ruth, great seeing you.
Thank you.
And we'll go to dinner sometime.
Did you all hear
And
that?
you will give
Your
me
audience?
a hand job, because you have said in your books a hand job is not cheating. Am I correct?
That's not true.
No, hand job is cheating?
Absolutely. Goodbye.
What? All right, Dr. Ruth, everybody. We'll be back right after these words. Listen to this. It's good seeing you.
You can't say that we are boring.
No.
Come here.
No, not
Come
at
here. I
all.
want to give you a kiss. Hi there.
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, call me again.
I'm too tall for you. Good to see you.
I want that picture.
You guys want to do a picture together?
I want a picture. Wait. Give me the hand.
I should
I
get
want
on
a
my
picture.
knees, don't you think?
No, this is
I want a picture.
1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
There you
Okay.
go.
I want a
Dr. Ruth,
picture,
thank
okay,
you for
then.
being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Come with me 1 second. 1 second. Come.
Where are we going? I got to do a commercial.
Yeah, wait. Open the door fast.
Dr. Ruth, you walk faster than I do.
Mark, I want you to say hi.
Hey,
This
Mark.
is the playwright.
Hey, what's happening?
Mark's on the way.
Really great job. Hey, what's happening?
And
There,
this is
guys.
David, the best tax attorney.
Oh, well, now, forget all of you. Now
And
listen,
his
I need help.
office is in the building here.
All right, good.
His office is in the building. Did you see that I got a kiss?
I did.
Another
Kiss.
one.
We got a lot of
Go
kisses
down.
going on.
Okay.
Dr. Ruth, why do you get up in the morning for Howard? Why is he the only one? Why is he so special?
Because first of all, I usually don't let anybody call me before 9 in the morning because I'm out every night, someplace, opera or something else. And for him, because I actually get a pleasure of debating him because I always come out on top. Bye-bye.
Okay. Let's get down to brass tacks here.
Yeah. Let's get down to brass tacks.
All right, so who's here?
A very
Take your time.
I don't know how to put it. Icon in the radio business.
A very iconic person from the radio business.
Go fuck yourself, okay? Then you should have said that yourself.
Well,
Don't
I was
ask
waiting,
me,
man.
Don't ask me then.
You had a good 5-10 seconds of dead air there. I didn't know what to do. I panicked.
That's right.
Usually,
I wanted to see what you were going to do. And
You
what did you
usually
do?
carry us.
And what did you do? You did nothing.
Yeah, you've been carrying me on your shoulders for years.
The
I
radio
didn't know
went
what
off,
to do.
the show went off the air, and you did nothing. Okay?
I guess I got a little bit lazy.
Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
waiting for you to do all the
That's
talking.
because you know why you got lazy. Because you're relaxed if you just unloaded, you know what I'm saying?
I'm at least a few pounds
Yeah,
lighter
yeah,
right
I'll
now.
bet you did. Yeah, I'll bet you did on 37.
I'll show you the picture I took.
Everybody know he goes to the bathroom on 37.
Well, at least I don't go in the other bathroom like Tim.
Yeah, well, hey, that's another story.
Lesser of two.
Anyway, Carol Miller's here with a little bit of, sounds like she has bronchitis, so.
Oh, I'm going to keep my distance then.
Let's get her in here.
Carol Miller, good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
I'll tell you something. For somebody who's got freaking whooping cough, it's going great.
You've rallied.
Yes, I've rallied, and I'm here.
That must be extremely tough, right this way.
Extremely tough. You know where I got it?
Where?
This place. He's dating the police. There was whooping cough in the studio here. No, I work here, and I also work elsewhere, and so I came down with whooping cough really bad. It's going around again for crazy reasons. I don't have my whole voice. But what happened was, I was then told that another studio, that it was diagonally over there that somebody over there had it, came down with it, wiped out the studio, and they didn't tell anybody. Should I tell you who they are?
I'll let them be innocent. Wait, no, you tell me. Tell me who it is, actually. I want to.
Okay, Opie and Anthony.
Figures.
Yes, and I'm serious because you can't medically prove where you got something, but logic can dictate. Because if you never ran into whooping cough and you went into a studio, I was in their studio to get something, and then you get it. Where'd you get it?
Exactly.
So there. So, I mean, I love Howard and Robin and everybody, and wish I could talk better today, but I don't care.
Yeah, I'll let you save your voice for the studio with Howard and Robin and
Yeah.
the gang.
They can make fun of me, I don't care.
All right, Carol, good to have you here.
Thank you.
I warn you in advance that she sounds terrible.
Why?
She's got like a throat. She's got a weird throaty, sicky thing going on.
Is she sick?
She says she's not. She said she was, and she's over.
She canceled
now.
2 weeks ago because she was sick, and I think she's still dealing.
She said
with the
she
same
said she's not sick anymore, but she still has but she sounds sick. I'm just warning you.
So is it distracting to talk to her? Will it sound bad?
A little bit, a tiny bit. It's hard to explain to the audience that she's a chick with a hot voice because that hot voice is not there. That's her tool.
Hey now. Hey, here, fellow radio person, Carol Miller is here. She works at Sirius, and she's still on Q104, I think, in New York. And she's had a spectacular radio career, and I love talking radio. She wrote a book called Up All Night, My Life and Times in Rock Radio. And what a charmed career. Ah, there you are. Hi.
A charmed career, you call it.
Oh, a charmed career, if ever there was one, and I'll tell you why. How are you?
Outside of whooping cough.
Oh, you have whooping cough?
No, wait, but yes.
Do me a favor. Don't be in here. I can't get that.
You can't because I'm not contagious anymore. But I swear.
Go sit in that booth. I swear to God.
Don't worry about it. I'm begging you. Don't worry about it.
You're begging me. I'm scared. I'm so afraid of germs.
I know. So am I.
You have whooping cough?
Let me tell you something. You know whose fault it is?
I feel like I'm getting it already.
Wait, let me put this in.
Don't come to me.
No, don't worry about it.
Please, I don't want to get sick.
You're not going to get it.
All right, sit back far on the couch.
All right, here.
And you sound like you have whooping cough.
Yeah, I know I don't sound right, but you know something? You can make fun of me. I don't care. I'm here.
No, I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm
I
a
love
fan.
you. I wanted to come.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you wanted to come. Should have waited a few more weeks
No,
until you felt better.
You know something? You could just postpone enough. People go, who cares,
Wow, I'm so paranoid of germs. I've got
you and Jerry Seinfeld, forget about it.
Jerry Seinfeld. Never mind Jerry Seinfeld. I've got such a bad case. Like I can't touch things. I'm like completely
Look, I got
whacked.
gloves on. You're not getting it.
All right, thank you.
Look.
Get Carol a surgical mask.
No.
Or you. I don't know. Somebody needs a mask.
No, because I have so much I want to talk to you about.
There's plenty to talk about.
Yeah. Your voice going to be all right?
I don't care. If you can listen to it, I'll listen to it.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know if the fans will, but I will. So you're still on Q104?
Yes.
Now, have you been able to work with whooping cough?
I was off for the last week and a half.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, but you know whose fault it is?
Whose?
Jenny McCarthy.
Why?
Because there's all these women who have these cockamamie ideas that children shouldn't get vaccines. And no, I use her name in jest because she's one of them, but they are saying now that they don't want the children to have vaccines. So therefore, a lot of, illnesses that were banished in the 20th century.
Whooping cough, I'm going to get it now.
You're not getting it.
Robin, I'm coming to your apartment.
No, you're not.
No, I want to be out of the studio.
You're not getting it.
I'm not?
I'm way beyond.
Why do you think I'm not getting it?
Because after 5 days of antibiotics, which I've been on for like 2 weeks.
Right.
You're not contagious.
All right.
And I didn't kiss you.
All right. Don't kiss me. I would like to kiss you, but I'm not going to. So the reason I said you had a charmed career, Carol was one of these DJs I used to listen to, especially when I was younger. And really, I would imagine the other DJs at your radio stations were jealous of you. Because rock stars and anybody who came and visited, they'd put you in videos. You were in Ian Hunter's video. Yeah. You were, which is one of the all-time great videos. What was the song that was?
Only the Good Ones Are Taken.
Only the Good Ones Are Taken. Carol was so hot that Ian Hunter looked at her, put her in the video, and I can imagine that every DJ on the radio station was jealous because you were getting these outside opportunities. True?
Well, I never took it really that seriously. I think the guys were always kind of like more jealous about their careers, and I thought it was funny.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
I just think that for a guy at a radio station, it's tough when the woman gets a... I remember the WNEW calendar. They'd do a calendar every year of all the DJs, and guys would be like just wanting to see Carol Miller's pictures in the calendar.
And you know what? Those crazy calendars, they always wanted people to dress up like somebody else, and I said, that's nuts.
Right.
I don't want to wear a clown hat. I don't do that.
Right, yeah. But I just know that it was a charmed career in that you were you like a valedictorian of your high school?
Yeah, salutatorian.
Yeah, salutatorian, the second to the valedictorian.
Yeah, they left off the .03 on my extra AP credit.
So you're this brilliant girl. Your father was what, a doctor?
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh. And you were going to college. You were being groomed to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Doctor, and I became a lawyer actually.
Did you actually get a law degree?
Yes.
Did you pass the bar?
I did everything I did, and I stayed in radio.
So when your father heard you wanted to go into radio, he was completely freaked out and pissed, right?
Well, he was beyond that. My father... You see, I know enough about you from your family and listening to your wonderful family that your father never really thought you were a moron. He loved you. My father thought I was a moron.
No, my father thought I was a moron.
No, my father, you're a moron, and I'll write off the last 20 years. You're a moron.
Yeah, but you weren't a moron. I mean, you were really good in school and stuff, and so the idea that you were, gonna
horrible.
What school? What college did you go to?
University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I mean, so that's like about as Ivy League as you get. University of Pennsylvania. You're this brilliant daughter of a doctor. It looks like you're on track to really have this great life.
Yep.
Why? You don't seem like somebody who was in love with radio. Why did you even go down and volunteer? You know what I mean? I mean, in your history as a kid growing up, were you enamored with the radio?
Oh, yes.
Oh, you were?
See, no, I don't blame you if you didn't read my book.
No, I haven't read it yet. I'll read it.
It's a lot to read, but it's funny. I always loved radio from the get-go. And it was a very, very important part of my life. And I always found that there was an invisible party in my room called Radioland.
Right.
And as a kid, I was DXing and listening to all my invisible friends come home from school, and Murray the K and Cousin Brucey, they'd all be there just at the flick of a switch.
Was life easy for you as a kid? I mean, being this beautiful and, I mean, you could have gone into modeling, I'm pretty sure. You were that hot, right?
Well, not in those days, I'll tell you. So I did a little modeling when I was a teenager.
So you must have been the charmed kid at school, right?
No. Those days... It wasn't that easy for us Jews. I'm really darker, when they gave you a lot of trouble.
Were you a popular kid in school?
I was popular as being the smart kid.
Were guys banging you at a young age?
I didn't know what banging was.
Oh, you were very naive sexually.
Well, if you read the book, you'll see I'm from such a background that makes it funny that I didn't know from anything.
Right. And so you weren't going out with guys and guys weren't hitting on you?
Well, they were hitting on me, but I was going, I don't do that. I can't do that.
You were a good girl.
I came from an Orthodox background.
When did you start having sex? In college?
Under pressure, yes, in college.
What do you mean pressure? Some guy talked you into it and you weren't really ready?
No, the women's lib movement came and dragged me kicking and screaming.
You mean you felt you had to have sex because of the women? But the women's lib movement would have been just the opposite, saying you don't have to be pressured into having sex.
No, women's lib movement was a hoax.
It was?
Yeah.
Why was it a hoax?
But the whole deal, Howard, was that women weren't supposed to have sex, and so being liberated meant having sex.
See, the women's lib movement, and hi, Robin, I think it was cooked up by guys to make women think that it was their idea to do this.
Right, right.
Because that way they had a reason, they had an intellectual reason to do this.
So how do you get into radio? You go down to the college radio station, you start to volunteer like I did, right?
Yeah.
And you start to, and you're really good at it. I mean, you had a very natural delivery. You weren't sort of struggling to be on the radio. It was kind of easy.
Well, the thing was this, even though I sound like a frog right now.
Right.
I could do Joan Rivers really good right now.
I know in a week I'm going to be sounding like this.
Yeah. No, don't worry.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Keep telling me that. Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
No, it was the whole start of the FM thing.
Yeah.
And I did not really make a connection between Top 40 AM and the new direction of FM. And this was a whole new world that was kind of opening up. And so I didn't really have a role model. The only woman that I had heard on the air, of course, here in New York was Alison Steele.
Yeah.
And she was very beautiful and glamorous. She was an older woman, but she had a persona.
Yeah, she was like an announcer.
Well, no, she had an act of that she was the Nightbird.
Right.
And I had this crackpot idea, because all I was a kid, that if I could be your friend on the radio, like, the guys could be your friend.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about you. It was like you were a friend on the radio.
Yeah.
And, you being a super hot chick, it was kind of cool. Then you saw you, and it was like, wow, maybe that's a girl I could get. You know what I mean? Because she's friendly.
She's friendly.
No one's friendly who looks like that. But, of course, I fell for it.
But by the way, you're looking very good right now.
Oh, thank you.
And I love the show.
Oh, America's Got Talent.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun doing it.
I love the harp guy.
Earth Harp, yeah. He was terrific. He really was good. So, did you ever bang a listener? Would a listener ever get you? No, I don't think so.
No.
Because, and I would imagine that you get out of college and you get a job at WMMR in Philadelphia, which is unbelievable to me, because if someone would have taken me out of college and given me a job at WMMR, I think I would have just died and gone to heaven.
I got the job while I was still in college.
Wow.
And they offered me the job, and they said, okay, you can do weekends and fill-ins. And I said, great. And then I realized that some of the fill-ins might be what classes were on.
Yeah.
I figured it wouldn't happen, but it did.
Yeah.
So I was cutting class to fill in.
Can you imagine? I mean, when I was in college, I was so bad on the radio. I mean, MMR to me would have been the pinnacle of my radio career if I could have gotten there. And while you're in college, you get a job there. Do you think your looks played into it, though? Did it help you get in the door? Because you're so stunning.
Well, thank you, but I don't think so, but thank you.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, rock stars were banging you.
No, they were trying.
Right, blah, blah, blah. And they were putting you in videos because of your look. Your beauty also played into this.
That's nice of you.
Did the radio programmers hit on you?
Yes.
Yes, they did.
But, see, here was the joke.
They probably thought if they gave you a job, they could bang you.
Yes, but here's the thing. I was pretty naive. My whole concept was that I was totally into the music. I was started out, I was going to be the secretary at the college rock station.
Right.
And file records.
Right.
I didn't think a girl could do this. But when I got the idea that I wanted to do it, because somebody teased me at the radio station, they said, oh, you think you can do this, huh? Right. I said, all right. So I said, well, it's a gimmick. They just hired an English guy, so maybe they need a girl. And I'll surprise them because I'll actually know what I'm talking about. And so the guy that introduced me on the air the very first day actually does shows here at Sirius XM.
Who's that?
Michael Tierson.
Oh, yeah. I listen to him on Deep Track.
Yeah, well, and he was just the same guy. And I'll never forget this. People are who they are, and I say this with no animosity. He looks at me, it's in the book, and he goes, we won't be needing a girl around here, so you won't be here for very long. And this is what he said before the mic went on. And I looked at him, and I'm 20 years old, Yeah. Then he puts the mic on. He said, and now we have Carol Miller. He says, this is a microphone. And I said, does it bite? And I went on, and then I just did my show.
He was condescending. Were you nervous on the radio when you first got on, or you were relaxed?
Oh, no. Very nervous, but I pretend to be relaxed.
Yeah. I pretended to be relaxed. It didn't help. I was awful. I was awful.
Nervous.
I was so bad at it.
No, how could you be awful?
I was awful, and I was so bad at it that even queuing up these records and putting them out. You want some water?
No, I got here coffee.
I feel like I should put you in the hospital. Not let alone.
I've been. They don't want me there.
They don't want you in the hospital?
No, she can't even be in the hospital.
Right. I'm so scared I'm going to get whooping cough. I mean, oh my God. Yeah, Dan, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, I just want to say that that whooping cough is very contagious, Howard.
Oh my God.
Oh no, don't call and say that.
Oh no. Oh my God. Oh,
no, I'm telling you, I wouldn't come here. I wouldn't do that to you. I'm a responsible person.
Okay. Well, anyway, I catch everything.
So do I.
So you've had a radio career unlike mine, where I think people, you were on the fast track. You were at MMR. You got to PLJ in New York, WNEW FM in New York. And you know what's shocking? A lot of people don't realize this, and if they read Carol's book, they will. in the beginning of her career, in the beginning of my career, you could play whatever you wanted on the radio. The DJs were in charge of the music.
She picked her own music.
That's right. You got to pick your own music, which I hated because, A, I didn't care about the music. I just wanted to be an announcer.
Thank you.
And I found it to be a big pain in my ass. I was looking to be on the radio. I didn't care what songs I played. I didn't understand this passion that everybody had.
Well, in the book, I make an argument about this because the idea is to present music that people like.
Right.
It shouldn't matter who picks it.
Right.
And people say, do you pick your own music? I said, did you like it?
Right.
That's all that counts. Now, at the beginning, we had just a certain number of albums, 10 rock albums, the brand new albums.
Right.
Now, in a few years, you have 100. How are you going to present 100 new albums every day to everybody and expect them to hear something new every day and even retain it?
I know.
You can't do that.
It's an impossible job. I say program directors have the hardest job. They have to sit there. Their whole careers are based on trying to figure out what people want to hear.
Right.
It's insane.
It's a joint thing where you say, yeah, you want to introduce people to music, but people say they want to hear everything new, but they really don't because they can't. They want to hear some things new and then the things they like. And it's kind of a balance of making it sound like you're hearing the new things, introducing them, and also playing things they like.
How old were you when Steven Tyler took up with you? You had like a 6-month love affair with Steven Tyler,
I don't
right?
have a love affair, but yeah.
How amazing is that? I mean, you're working at the radios. Like, I've worked at radio stations. Nobody's looking for love affairs with me. No rock stars, female rock stars, or male ones for that matter, want to know me. I mean, it must have been so incredible. How old were you?
26.
You're a 26-year-old girl working at a radio station. Steven Tyler, one of the biggest rock stars in the world. Certainly someone fantastic, right?
You have to understand something. First of all, as a person, he's a funny person. You know him.
Yeah.
He's a sweet guy, but he needs supervision.
Right.
As I wrote in the book, I wasn't sure if he could use a bank machine, you know, when they invented them.
Nor did he have to learn to use one.
That's right, because he had a manager. They didn't have to do anything.
Right.
But the whole thing, if you read my book, the funny part is that because of the background that I come from, I wasn't looking for, you know, sex and love affairs. I was on a mission to find a husband because I was getting old.
Right.
From my
26.
Yeah, I saw the bloomers off the rose.
Right.
So I'm working at night. Who do you meet? Engineers, you know, program directors, and rock stars that come through the station.
Who are you going to go with?
Well, who asks you out?
Right.
So as hard as it is to believe, me meeting the rock stars was like somebody meeting somebody from the office.
Right, yeah.
And
they were interested. You had the look. They you know, you were cute as hell. You're a young girl. They were looking for young girls, and you have a good career going. Were you making a lot of money when you were 26?
Well, I have never made a lot of money, to be honest with you, Howard.
Is that true?
Absolutely true.
You know, you're one of the best, I would say, you know, if you take
he would
radio,
always talk about Carol Miller.
Carol Miller, Allison Steele, you know, there were guys, you know, when you think about it in terms of like a baseball or Major League Baseball, to be on a New York radio station, especially at a young age, that is considered the pinnacle. You can't do much better than that. Every disc jockey wants to come to New York and get one of these jobs.
Right.
And you're saying there was no money in it.
No, what I'm saying is
what was your best year? How much?
You want me to tell you?
Yeah. I'm curious because people think it's like you're a multimillionaire walking around.
Oh, yeah. Before the pay cut, my best year was $160,000.
Yes. Now, it's pretty amazing. $160,000.
I don't make that now.
Right.
And let me tell you why. It's not, first of all, when I got into radio, there was, and I was not a, you know, a performer artist like you are. I'm a DJ.
Right.
And there was a thing called parody, AM and FM. AM always got more. Because and so I was paid, when I started at PLJ, I don't mind saying this, I got about $30,000 a year.
Right.
It went further than whatever now. That money, I mean, I could do the whole math for you, how you could go, the cost of living and everything.
I tell my guys now, I talk to them about radio. I said, this idea, we've got the best jobs in the world. I said, you have no idea what's doing out there in radio. Here's a person who's at the pinnacle.
Right.
And sure, $160,000 is a great amount of money, but it ain't some millionaire running around on the radio.
And then I got... go ahead, Robin.
I was just going to say, it's that other thing that Howard always talks about, being famous with no money.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is this. There were two factors, and the other one I accepted and understood. I was told point blank when I started, we're not going to give you as much as the men because they have a family to support. Now, no, wait a minute. You know something? I understood that. This was not we're going back 30-some-odd years.
Right.
This was not beyond my comprehension. I said, well, that's right. I don't. You know, what
but
do
they didn't hire a family. They hired a man.
But that was the thinking.
You rationalized it somehow so you could get through the day.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Because it's really not fair. How do they know what your situation is? Maybe you were supporting your family.
Yeah,
you don't know.
I know that, but it was a different time, so I was happy to have the job.
Right.
You know, they didn't want to have women in the first place. I was up for a job at PLJ twice, and they said they weren't ready to have a woman
Larry
yet.
Berger was the PD?
Finally, he hired me, yes.
Yeah.
And he...
Yeah, I was frustrated by him. I was going to be the new morning guy at PLJ. Jim Kerr was the morning man.
That's right.
And Larry Berger called me. I was working in Detroit, and he said, all I wanted in my career was to be the morning man at WPLJ. You know, if I could have had that, that would have been like, I would have thought I died and went to heaven. So Larry Berger gives me the big call, and he says, I'm watching you. I said, you're watching me? Hire me. No, I got this guy in the morning, Jim Kerr. I could fire him. No. I'm not going to fire him. Maybe I'll put you on at night at some point and let you do nights, but you can only talk for 3 minutes, 3 minutes an hour. I said, but that's not what I do, and why would you hire me? Well, so I had to wait. Then I went to Washington, D.C. He said, I'm going to look at you and see how you do in Washington. I didn't hear from him. I'm waiting, like for Mashiach. And then finally, NBC called me, so I went. But I would have died to work at the station you were working at. It was a great rock station.
It was the best. It was a great team. But I can tell you something. I know why, and I know you had it in for Jim because of that.
No, not for Jim. I mean, I'm happy for Jim.
I know, but you used to joke about it.
I joke about it.
I know.
Yeah.
He was, and I put him in the book. He was like Little Lord Fauntleroy. Yeah. He was the whitest person I ever saw in my life.
Yeah.
He was from Cornstick, Michigan. He had long blonde hair, but he had the voice of like
a great voice.
James Bond. And
he had a great voice. I remember I used to listen to him. I think this must be the best looking guy on the planet. And then you see him, he's just a regular guy.
He was a child.
Yeah, right.
And so anyway, the girls loved him. So he was doing very well.
Was he getting a lot of sex, Jim Kerr, being the morning man at PLJ?
I can't speak for him, but from what I hear, yes.
Yeah, I imagine so, right? And you, meanwhile, were not slow. Steven Tyler.
Yeah.
Steven himself says in his book his penis was massive, and it was huge, right?
You know something? Which book? The new book or the old book?
I don't know which book. I remember that his penis is big.
It's hard for me to remember. You know why? Because that wasn't really the most important part of the relationship. And you know why? Because most of these rock stars, it's in everybody's head that it's all about the sex. Meanwhile, it's really not. And you know that. When I was going out with Steven, it was really more about, he was a really fun, friendly guy. It's hard to explain that would be a friend of yours in 8th grade. Right. And he loved to do crazy things like wrap yourself in blankets and run around a room.
When he asked you out, were you shocked? I mean, he was like one of the biggest rock stars, still is.
Yeah, but you see, yes, but I come from a background where there were no posters in my room as a child.
You didn't worship these guys?
No. I just thought they were good at what they did, and it would be fun to go out with them because of the fun.
Did they understand you had a regular job? Because these guys are like children. They're want, like children. They want a woman with them 24/7.
That's right.
And if you can't be with them 24/7.
Right. Exactly. And Steven Tyler was such a decent guy that if you read the book, I hope people do because it's very funny the way I meet him. I thought he was dead. Because he falls asleep in a bed and this and the whole thing. And I'm never going to go out with him because he's an idiot.
What you're referring to is that Stephen was using drugs.
Yeah.
And you're there with him, and he uses drugs, and he passes out.
Right, but that was the first time I met him.
And you thought he died.
Yeah, and I said, how am I going to get out of the hotel? I'm going to be the last person seen with a rock star. If you read the chapter, I pour water on his face, and it's funny.
He's out cold.
Out cold. But then he winds up calling me back. And I realize this guy's out of his gourd.
But wait a second. The kicker to the story is you call his manager or somebody, and they say, stick some fried eggs underneath his nose and he'll be revived. They'd obviously been through this with him.
Yes.
And they stuck fried eggs under his nose. You did it. And he woke up, and that was it. He was fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then I left.
Were you doing a lot of drugs back then?
No. I never was really a drug person.
So when Steven's partying, what are you doing?
Oh, I'll tell you. When I did start going out with him, because it was a few months later, he came back. They were working on the record. Because of my hours, he was coming up to the radio station. Come on out. You want to go here? You want to go there? Sure. So that's how it started. And, he'd fly me to places and this and that.
So you held out a long time before you gave him sex, right? You were not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, see, even though he really wasn't a candidate with a capital C, I was on that Jewish look for a husband. And
did you really think Steven Tyler was going to end up being your husband?
No, but I thought Paul Stanley would.
Paul Stanley of Kiss?
Yes.
He asked you out. He asked you out. You went out with him, and you had a loving relationship with him.
Yes, he's
for how long?
A few months, and then they went on tour. But I've been friends with him ever since then.
Paul good in bed?
He's a wonderful guy. I have nothing bad to say. His mother just passed away.
You think Paul Stanley broke up with you because you're a Jewish girl and he wanted something more exotic? He wanted he wanted some exotic sort of Catholic girl or something he couldn't get in high school.
In the book, I wrote that, but I'm writing that kind of humorously because I realized that my understanding of guys, coming from my little Orthodox type background, was so limited that I thought every guy is looking to settle down.
Right.
Even the guy that wears spandex on stage.
Did your parents ever sit you down and go, "Honey, you're dating the wrong kind of guy"?
They never talked to me about dating. I wasn't allowed to go on a date, and then they were worried I wasn't married.
I see. So when you're going out with Paul Stanley, the legendary feud between him and Gene Simmons is that they don't get along.
Oh, that's bullshit.
That's all right. You can say that here. Paul Stanley did get along with Gene Simmons?
Yeah.
He didn't have a bad word to say about him?
No.
And you're telling me you really don't remember Steven Tyler's penis size, or are you just one of those people that doesn't want to talk about it?
I don't want to talk about it. It was, look, I'm not, what's those plastic caster people? I'm not that.
Were you satisfied, though, sexually from Steven?
Yeah, but I wouldn't have cared. I was having a good time on the plane.
Right. Were you in love with him?
No.
It was about just sort of hanging.
Yes, I realized that.
Wow. That's like a dude. You were like a dude.
Well, but I was a friend. It was like the friends with benefits thing.
But Paul Stanley you were in love with?
Yes.
And when he broke your heart?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I didn't understand they were going on tour, and I didn't understand, and he told me, later on, of course, guys like we shouldn't get married. We go on tour. He was straight ahead also.
Right.
But the funny part in the book was I just didn't understand these things. I didn't go around like beating myself up. I thought it was my hair's too dark, my teeth are bad.
When Ian Hunter asked you to be in a video, which I think
wasn't him. It was his manager.
Was that manager trying to get in your pants?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's the great. I was talking about MTV with somebody. MTV was so amazing. Watching these videos was like our art form. It was like great artists were coming out of this. But some of them now, when you look back at them, like the Ian Hunter video you were in, you had the cutest hairdo in that. Your ponytail is off to the side.
I did that myself.
I love that. And you look super hot in it, and all these hot chicks are in it. And, of course, they're all chasing Ian Hunter around. They're running their fingers through his hair. Ian Hunter smoking a cigarette through the whole thing.
Yeah, with the sunglasses.
With the sunglasses on. Ridiculous, right?
Right.
Ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous.
No, it's all ridiculous.
And now it's all gone. I mean, there's no more of that. You don't see videos playing an important part.
Well, thank goodness, because it went over the top. I mean, who needs it, really?
Yeah. Are you sad by how radio is declining now, that people are just not as excited about it? It doesn't have the same clout it used to have?
I think that it's all a matter of marketing and advertising, and this is why. I call radio the Maytag of media.
Right.
It's like you need it. Everybody has it. The guy sits there, it doesn't break, but when it does, oh my God, the radio's broken. And we, collectively in radio, did not do our job in glamorizing and showing the attractiveness and the total utility and the superior appeal of radio.
I agree.
It is, You can't turn it off. It doesn't break down. You don't have to upload, download. You don't have to do anything to it. You can't stop it. It bounces off the stratosphere. The government can't shut it down. There are just so many reasons why it is the perfect sonic component. And yet, because of marketing, people have allowed people to think that walking around the street with little plastic things in their ears with canned music is hip. It's just marketing. And I think one of the things about...
So it makes you sad that the DJ is not appreciated.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that the media likes to think that.
Yeah, I think the DJ is appreciated. I think the audience likes to hear somebody,
yes,
you know?
I will tell you something. The two people that besides here, of course, Mel Karmazin came and, elevated Sirius XM. But I have to hand it to Bob Pittman, because I work for Clear Channel. And because he started MTV,
right.
He came in there, and he understands that. He loves radio, and everything he does is with a splash.
Yes.
And I really think that
he gets the show business of
it. Yes, he does. Yeah. And when it all comes out in the wash, because it's going to come out, how many devices could we have? It's just ridiculous. We have to have the one that works. Radio is going to be standing, and people are just all excited by their latest thumb thing.
Yeah, well, that thumb thing is delivering music in a way that doesn't have commercials, and that's what's going to eventually win out. You know that.
No, you know something?
You don't think so?
Let me ask you a question. This is my other theory. I wish I could talk better.
I know. You should have waited to come in when your voice was all right.
Then you would have said, "Oh, she's over. It's done."
No, I wouldn't have.
Never.
You're wrong.
Why
No, I feel you're
that?
struggling with your voice. I got to ask you something.
Yeah.
You were married. I guess it was your first marriage to Mark Goodman, the VJ, right?
Yeah.
Was that your first or your second marriage?
First.
Yeah, you're married now, right?
Yes.
Your first marriage, Mark Goodman, the VJ. He was a big deal back then because he was on MTV.
Yes, but I knew him before.
Right. And you worked with him where, at MMR?
No, actually at PLJ for a little bit, but I had a lot of friends in common from MMR.
The rumor I heard, this was a rumor, you don't address it in your book, but tell me if it's true or false. You came home one day and you discovered him in bed with two women, and it blew your mind. I mean, of course it would blow your mind. It's your husband. True or false?
No, false.
It looks like you're looking in your mind for whether that's. I mean, that's something you wouldn't forget.
What is this related to?
No. I'm wondering which story you've gotten it confused with somebody else. No,
somebody told me that, and I didn't know if it was true or not. And I said, "Look at this guy."
No, but.
How many women was it? Was it more than two?
No. I never came home and found him in bed with a woman, but I did. Well, look, it is what it was. I think he is another person who, certain guys, when their fame goes to their head and they're at a certain age, and I have it in the book too. Even my father said, give him a year, let him stop around, he'll come back.
Really? Your dad said that? Isn't that interesting when your father says that to you? It makes you wonder what he did to your mom.
No, because you're married. The men do this, it's the old way.
Right.
Let him get it out of his system.
So did you wait the year to see if he'd get it out of his system?
And then my father says, let him get it out of his system and get an AIDS test.
I see. Do you run into him in the halls around here? He works here as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Do you ever run into him?
Once or twice.
Really? Is it ugly?
How
is it
is
like,
that?
Hey, you don't talk to him, he doesn't talk to you?
No, I'll tell you something. When he left, it was my choice. I decided I'm not going to be... He left... He ran off with somebody else, whatever. I'm not going to be the groveling whatever. I'm going on the air and working. And I was shocked. I'm from a very conservative background. So I just went about my business, and I decided never to see him again.
Right.
I never saw him again until a few years ago in the Sirius studios.
That's what I say, yeah. I would imagine you run into each other, yeah.
Yes, I ran into him.
How awkward was that on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being most awkward?
Well, because I have a sense of humor, and I think Lifetime is a funny channel.
Yeah.
And I've been through so much crap.
Yeah.
If you read my book, I'm cancer and this and that,
So much cancer, right? You've been through.
Yes, and I never told anybody.
Were you a smoker? Were you a cigarette smoker?
No.
It's just, you got breast cancer when you were like 20.
And uterine cancer, yes.
Just like that. Was it in your family?
It killed everybody.
Wow.
So
and did you had a mastectomy?
Two.
And then you had two mastectomies.
All of it. They put me back together 10 times.
What with an implant they put?
Oh, please! I don't want to talk about.
What do you mean you don't want? You talk about it in your book, no?
Yes, but I don't. I look like a person, right?
No, you look terrific. I'm saying.
Yes, I've been through hell and back.
No, you really have.
I just finished up radiation last year from the inside. You don't want to know.
You had what type of other cancer did you have?
Uterine. They took the plumbing out too.
Wow.
And you know what my joke is?
Yeah.
I asked. You know who I asked this question to? Naomi Wolf, the feminist.
Right.
She has a few cards in the deck that I think are loose. I said, would you consider me a woman? Now. I don't have any parts.
What did she say?
She was a little stumped.
Of course you're a woman.
No, I'm saying that humorously.
Yeah, but is that how you feel inside? That
no.
You're not a woman?
I feel exactly the same. Exactly the same, because you know something?
Then why would you ask her that?
Because she wrote a book she just came out with a book about how your body parts are related to your brain, and I thought it was crazy.
Yeah, look, I only have 2 inches, and I consider myself a man, even though technically I'm a woman. All right? That's it. You got to think of yourself the way you are.
No. I think of myself as a woman.
It's in your brain, right?
That's right. It's in your brain. What are you, 2 inches? It's barely a clitoris I got down there.
No, everything.
My balls are a good size.
Well, I think of myself as a woman, and not only that, I'm like Barbie.
Right.
Because they put me back like Barbie.
I like you better this way, quite frankly.
Well, thank you.
I think all that internal stuff is disgusting. I like a woman who's been cleaned out a little. Honestly.
Between you and me?
Yeah, much better.
Yes.
No, but the cancer, I mean, you've looked death in the eye, right?
And back. I've had MRSA twice in the hospital.
You've had what?
You know, that staph infection.
Oh, yeah.
Twice.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I've had.
Is that from the treatment?
No, that's from the hospitals. You get the.
You pick up stuff.
Yeah, I've had. You wouldn't believe what I've had. I'm like the cockroach that ate Manhattan. But I swear, I got a sense of humor.
And you've had what?
It.
Radiation and chemo?
Radiation. They didn't give me the chemo because I had a heart murmur, and I don't like.
Wow.
I had the 2 mastectomies, and
you've had like what, 10 surgeries there, right?
About 25.
25 surgeries.
I'm not kidding.
Why the 25 to reconstruct?
Yes, because I had infections and all kinds of problems. But you know something?
God. You've been through hell.
Yes, I call myself Queen Cut Me Up.
And did you go through the divorce all through that?
Here's the fun part that's in the book, where because I do have a sense of humor thanks to my father, who I miss very much. When I was going through the divorce, I went through the divorce, and all of a sudden I came down with it. No. And I don't mind saying this, but it's in the book, so I could say this. He sued me for my half for the co-op because New York state law at that time was just an investment, so you could sue. They didn't.
Right. Well, it's a marital asset. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was at his lawyer's office, and he's not a bad person. I think he just didn't get it. I said, listen, I have cancer and I am paying for all this other stuff right now. Could you please, not sue me? So they delayed it for 5 years if he would have the money. But he came and got me anyway. It was right on the door, affixed to the door. And I had to pay $43,000 and then another $23,000 while I was going through all this shit, plus driving my father to chemotherapy. And guess what? I had a nice apartment.
Yeah. Well, you've been through a lot.
Yeah, and you know what?
Don't you think radio is a dismal career? I mean, you've had a pretty good one, but most guys just really get the shit beaten out of them, don't they?
Yeah,
it's not. Management doesn't take kindly to DJs, do they? They don't really appreciate them, do they?
I never really thought it was a career, and that's why I got into it. I thought it was something so new and exciting like the Beatles.
Yeah.
But it's been wonderful to me because...
you wouldn't recommend it to other kids, would you, go coming out of college?
I don't know what type of opportunities there are.
Right.
Because you know what it is? If you really work, if you really love what you're doing, because I really like hanging out and talking to people.
Right.
Maybe I feel like, when I was a kid listening, like I'm on the other side of the radio. and I'm your friend. And I really mean that.
Yeah.
And I like it so much that I've shown up for work sick and this and that. It's not because I'm stupid or a martyr.
You love it.
I love to do it. And you
still
do too.
love to do it, yeah. And when you saw Mark in the hallway after all of as you say, you had financial issues with him and blah, and you were going through cancer. You saw him. So because you have a good sense of humor, what did you say to him when you saw him after all this time?
Well, the first thing he said, he was very nice, and he said, "Oh, you look exactly the same. I can't believe it. You didn't get fat." Well, I wasn't sure why you were supposed to get fat. But anyway, we were talking, and, he does have a daughter from a second marriage.
Right.
And then I think there was another marriage. And then he said that he realized that he was a fool. I mean, he was sincere, and that he didn't understand what we had. And that's when I saw Lifetime Movie of the Week.
Well, guys do learn. Sometimes you don't realize what you have when you have it.
And that's always I don't write a bad book about a bad person, and that's not a big focus of the book at all.
Was it hard to get the book published because
no.
Because you think about it with radio and stuff. Sometimes people don't give a shit.
Do you know that I was never going to write a book? What happened was I got a letter from an editor at HarperCollins. I was opening the Warren Zevon book.
Right.
And there's a letter in there saying, "Did you ever think of writing your memoirs? We bet you have some great rock stories." And I said, "Wow, they think I should write a book about rock star gossip." And I said, "Oh, no, I wouldn't want to do that, but I'll talk to them." HarperCollins.
Yeah, well, I could see why you'd think that. I mean, you've banged quite a few rock stars.
Not that many.
Whitesnake, that guy, right?
Oh, but that's who
the
cares?
whole band.
No. What's his name? Coverdale, right?
Yeah. Look.
Big get in the world of women and men.
It's a big.
Hey, by the way, the name Whitesnake.
Yeah, I got that part.
Was named after his penis.
I guess so.
Is it that big? Is it that crazy big?
No.
So
nobody's like that.
Tyler is like that.
No, he's not like that.
I know a woman who blew him, and she told me it was huge.
She has a small mouth.
Really? Do you really think so? Wow, because she claimed that,
oh, give me a break.
Some guy told me you got a blowjob next to Steven on the tour bus, and he said it was monstrous.
No, listen, that whole thing. I have to tell you something. When I went out with these people, I actually was their girlfriend. And I'm dead serious. I never saw any of this crap. Yeah. I never saw groupies except when they would throw things at me.
But do you feel incredibly special when a guy like Steven Tyler or the Whitesnake guy, they're at the top, they're on the top, they're being catered to, and you're the girl on the arm?
You know why? I think it's great that they invited me. I like being there, but I know damn well that if it was any other pretty girl, it would be them too.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
And that's what.
Very smart that way.
I was looking for a relationship, and but I also got to go to a lot of nice restaurants and airplanes.
Right.
What can I tell you? I
it's fun being on those private jets with the guy and he's hanging out with the band. It's pretty heady stuff. I mean, for a young girl,
it's fun, but you have to know that that's not
it's
reality.
not real. No.
And you say, what would they do if you had a flat tire? Would they be coming to fix it and help you? No.
How's your marriage now?
Great.
Good dude or what?
My husband is Paul Logus. He is a recording engineer, mixer, producer, and he's doing a lot of mastering right now.
You never caught him in bed with two girls at the same time? Maybe that's where I heard it from.
No, I never did.
Good.
No, I think you met him at your party.
Yeah.
He is doing, the music business has been really crazy. He was the guy who did... you remember when Jimmy Page did redid Kashmir, Come With Me? He produced that with Puff Daddy. He did all the big hits with P. Diddy and all the Bad Boy stuff in the 90s. He mixed all that stuff with a couple of his friends, Bad Boy Music. And now he's doing a lot of mastering. He did Anthrax, just did Stone Sour.
Wow. Did you ever end up in bed with a girl? Never.
No.
You're too good of a girl.
No, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
I find it... I'm a regular girl. To me, it's like, disgusting. I wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're into guys.
Wait a minute. Why do guys like that?
please. Why do guys like that?
They like to see it, but I
Because
don't.
it's a scene. It's a scene.
Yeah, I know, but no.
You got to be a guy to understand.
I guess so, but I go, bleh.
Yes, Jeff the drunk.
Yeah, my cousin died from the whooping cough.
Oh no!
Oh,
don't even tell me that. I'm gonna get it now.
You had 4 ZLs.
Marianne from Brooklyn, go ahead.
You know, Carol, I really like you a lot, and there's two things I have to say. It is contagious, Howard. Don't dare go near that booth or any microphones or shake a hand or kiss a goodbye. Because when I went to AGT, I had a very bad cold, and I went for whooping cough diagnosis, which it wasn't. But there's two very important things. Carol, you can get it from children not having shots, and also your shot must have wore off. So whoever's...
I know.
I don't have a whooping cough shot.
I never had one.
You have it when you were little, Howard.
Oh,
Yes.
for God.
I'll tell you how.
Maybe it's in the 3-shot.
Knowing my parents, they didn't get me one. I'm telling you.
No, I know.
Why didn't your parents get you a whooping
We
cough?
all had them. What happened was...
Yours worn off, right?
Right.
What happened was... We never got booster shots because
Right.
wait, you're not
I never
getting
had
it
a
from me.
booster shot.
No.
Oh.
You're not.
Carol,
Listen, she's not a doctor. Marianne, I thank you. Marianne, you're not a doctor.
Yeah.
Please.
You
I'm
regret not having
contagious.
kids?
What?
Do you regret not having kids?
Yes, but it was unfortunate because of my illness.
You couldn't do it.
Well, I would have had to,
Adopt.
pay other
Do the
people.
surrogate
Yeah, not all
that.
If I couldn't do it myself, yes, I do. I have a wonderful nephew.
Carol, the book is called
Up All Night.
Up All Night, My Life in Times and Rock Radio.
Yes.
It's in stores now. I wish you a lot of luck with the book,
Thank you. And it was a gift that was given to me, an opportunity. And
normally I would tongue kiss you goodbye, but this time I'm not, only because of the whooping cough thing.
Don't worry.
All right. As long as you...
fella, don't worry.
All right, I will not get it. All
no,
right.
you're not getting it.
All right. Anyway, listen, Carol's been around. She's done it all.
Sort of.
And then some.
And not all of it.
And she's banged a lot of guys who very impressive list.
What they think they are.
Well, I'm impressed.
You are more impressive than they are.
Did you ever go in the studio with Aerosmith and watch them record?
That's the more fun part. Yes.
You did?
I've been in the
What song did you see them record?
Oh, I saw them doing the Draw the Line album.
No kidding.
No, see that if you read the book. I've been in the studio with Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty, Stevie Nicks.
No kidding.
See, that's the interesting part.
What did you see Springsteen do?
I saw him working with Graham Parker. I saw him the end of the Darkness album.
Did Springsteen bang you too?
No.
Did he just let you in the studio to hang out while they recorded?
I was the first person who played his record in New York. If you read the book, by default in 1973, because I was working in Philly. He was a local guy down there.
Right.
We played the record. NEW wasn't playing it because they were having a fight with his manager. I got a job, and I played it because I didn't know they were having a fight.
Oh, so no wonder he had you in the studio. You were a friend.
I've been friendly with him and them.
He never tried to get in your pants?
He was going out with somebody else.
Yeah, but he tried. Stop it.
No. I'll tell you something. I was interested in the music and.
Right.
I'm serious.
Well, they were interested in getting in your pants.
Well,
All right,
look,
listen.
everybody's interested in everybody else's pants.
Listen, Carol, it's great. Great to have you here. I will read the book. Carol Miller, if I could read, I'd read the book. And,
you have a book.
You got pictures in there?
Yeah.
Of course. Any of you nude?
No, and there's never been one.
What a shame. All right. Carol Miller, Up All Night. Get the book. Thanks for coming in.
One thing.
Yeah.
5% of the royalties on the book are going to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation.
All right.
So is a charity aspect, so that please.
That's very nice.
Thank you.
Now, you see what happens when Steven Tyler has sex with you? This is what you end up sounding like.
Oh,
This really wasn't whooping cough. Just fucks the voice out of you. That big cock of his. Right, Carol? Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
We'll be back right after these words. Thanks, Carol. Listen.
Yeah, you're
not
getting
get whooping cough.
No, you're not getting sick, Howard.
I'm a sick boy.
Howard, I know how you feel. But
Well, you're amazing.
no, this has been going on for. I got it. It was like a month ago, and all I have is the residual.
No, I know. It's a pain in the ass to get rid of.
And you know how I got it? It was in
Gary.
these studios. Somewhere here in Sirius XM had it.
Wow.
And they didn't tell anybody, and that's irresponsible.
Right.
So people with low immune systems, I was right there, picked it up.
Yeah, you get fucked up. Well, anyway, you're terrific, and I appreciate you making the effort and coming in, even though you're not 100%.
Yeah, because something.
Very nice.
I pushed it off, and
No.
whatever. And congratulations. I haven't seen you since your marriage.
No, thank you.
And that party you had, it was wonderful.
Thanks.
And you look...
Thanks. And you're wonderful, really. And
your parents
congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I take a quick picture?
Sure. Your parents okay?
Yeah.
I see them on the show.
They're hanging in there. Let's put it that way.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Great.
It's great. It's really.
You should read about my father in the book. Piece of work.
Yeah.
Read it.
Yeah. I mean, listen. You had a very successful father who was worried about you, and.
Yeah, but he had a mouth. He was your biggest fan.
Really?
He would go, "Oh, Howard, I have to. Those girls. I have to go see it now. What time is it?"
The girls.
What are the odds?
The girls.
We all get two parents. What are the odds that any of us can get two normal ones?
One more. One, two, three.
You know what I mean?
Thank you so much.
Especially to you.
Oh,
no, what I'm saying to anybody.
My father. It's in the book. You read it. Hi.
Carol, you made it through.
I made it through.
You're a trooper.
Well, that's what I do. I may sound a little weird, but hi, Lisa. How you doing?
Good. Great. You did a great job.
I'm sorry that I sound like this, but you know something? Who cares? It's funny. If you can't laugh, then you can't laugh.
Unbelievable times. I mean, these stories, you've lived the life that people can only dream of. I mean, all the people that have listened to you on the radio are dreaming about living.
I think that I took them in stride, because I knew it wasn't real. Do you know what I mean?
This was this artificial life that you were exposed to?
Yeah, because I knew it was fun, but you don't go on like that, I mean, I was in hotel rooms where people were trashing things and ruining I mean, people don't do that. You're not supposed to do that, But I didn't participate in it, so I knew that wasn't the real world, but I saw it.
You were there to observe, and you knew where reality started and stopped.
Yeah.
Well, Carol, good luck with your book. It sounds like an unbelievably interesting tale. So.
Well, thank you, and once again, I'm very honored that I got a chance to write it, and there is a 5% donation, I'm making from every royalty to the Breast Cancer Research Foundation. So
that's awesome. That's something.
If you get it, you're doing a mitzvah.
Awesome. Thanks, Carol.
Thank you so much.
Oh. Anybody else feel whooping cough coming on? I feel it.
I got it.
You got it too, right?
Yeah. It doesn't matter. 5 feet from her the whole time in the hallway.
Were you? You're feeling it, right?
I hope not.
I feel it coming on. So funny.
Hey, it was a nice run we had.
What?
I had a nice run here.
Hey, same. Good man. Hey now. Hey, here, fellow radio person, Carol Miller is here. She works at Sirius, and she's still on Q104, I think, in New York. And she's had a spectacular radio career, and I love talking radio. She wrote a book called Up All Night, My Life and Times in Rock Radio. And what a charmed career. Ah, there you are. Hi.
A charmed career, you call it.
Oh, a charmed career, if ever there was one, and I'll tell you why. How are you?
Outside of whooping cough.
Oh, you have whooping cough?
No, wait, well, yes.
Do me a favor. Don't be in here. I can't get that.
You can't because I'm not contagious anymore. But I swear.
Go sit in that booth. I swear to God. Don't worry
about it.